that like button, share this content, let a friend or neighbor know where to go when it's time to tune in to Cowboys Sports Talk and Beyond. The name is Law Nation. Without hesitations nor deviations to the matter, be sure.
Read it, run from it, destiny arrives all the same.
And now, Cowboys bring in Marcus Dixon and Ronnell Williams to fit Christian Parker system. And as this room fill up, be sure to hit that like button. Sharing is caring. 5, 4, 3, 2. This episode is brought to you by also Frenkel and Frenkel Personal Injury Lawyers, backed by a combined of 100 years of experiences, as well as Sleeper, your #1 fantasy app in the world. Come on, baby. Happy Saturday to you, and you. 5, 4, 3, 2. All right. It appears that put a 1 in the chat if the audio is straight too, by the way. Put a 1 in there. 3. Delayed but not denied, baby. One thing we all adore, something worth dying for. There's nothing but pain. We stuck in this game, searching for fortune and fame. All right. Come on with it. Watch how it goes, baby. Yeah. Happy off season for you all. Appreciate everybody, man, for tuning in and being part of these type of episodes. The name is Law Nation. Ain't no party like a cowboy party. What about a winter storm party, baby? All right. So for those who've been hiding under a rock, I'm going to let you know we got a new defensive coordinator. And now it's time for that new defensive coordinator to pick and get his staff together. Now, there's a guy by the name of Marcus Dixon, who is the D-line coach for the Vikings for the past few years. He was also the D-line coach for the L.A. Rams, and he worked with Aaron Donald, and they were able to lift up a Lombardi trophy. That speaks volumes. That's a lot of good things in the building as it relates to this. Yeah, I got my Unc hat on today, man. You know, y'all better watch out, man. You know, I'm telling my age over here. Yeah. Come on with it. But we're going to talk about this. And of course, updated news, Mike McCarthy, he got him a job now back in Pittsburgh. I think he's originally from there, right? And it's crazy. He's reuniting now with Aaron Rodgers, the coach killer that he is, and we'll see how that will materialize down the stretch. But let's get right to it. How you guys feeling of Coach Parker now? How y'all feel about that? Shout out to you, Tony. Thank you for getting the live stream with us, and I'm going to see what's going on with my restream. It's definitely not working anymore. Restream, wake up, man. Y'all need to get y'all act together. All right, by trying to work his way in. Shout out to you all and appreciate you guys. All right, so with that being said, the Cowboys going into this offseason, we had order of operation, right? First and foremost, you got to get you a coach into the building. We got that. The second thing would be you got to restructure some contracts and seeing what we can do with that. The free agency period, we got to make sure that we can match what we got from this particular coaching staff now and see what we can do. But before we do that, we got to make sure that we fill out the entirety of the body. So Marcus is one of those guys. Dixon is one of those guys that we looking over his resume and all of those good things. And then secondly, we're going to look at this guy named Ronnell Williams. He's a guy that also He coaches the linebackers for the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, here's what I got to say for all of the people that say, hey, are we going to become the Philadelphia Cowboys? No, that's not the case nor the scenario. Sometimes when you're in coaching roles, you borrow and then you go and get people that can match your identity. It just somehow it been the Eagles guys that's been pretty much on the top tier aspect of defense. What I said is what I said. You know, the Cowboys, boy, we would love to see a game where we can go into the second half and the quarterback complete one pass and still have an opportunity to win. We would love to go into a game whereas the offense is trying to hold on to everlasting life, right? And we need a takeaway, a turnover to give us some liberty and justice and freedom for it all. So that's something that we all have to consider, ladies and gentlemen. Now, moving a little bit further into this, let's get to some of the things. And this is the guy, by the way, Marcus, that's going in for the interview. We don't know whether or not he have the job, but 9 times out of 10, they are setting paperwork and all of those things for it to be free. For it to be free for White Cotton to at least get his name in the hat. And 9 times out of 10, White Cotton may end up going to the Tennessee Titans as to be their defensive capacity, maybe a defensive line coach, because I think that is where Robert Saleh got his job at. If I'm not mistaken, y'all can put that down in the chat. But this is set to be an interview 9 times out of 10. This guy, Marcus Dixon, he's formerly played for the Cowboys, got the whole storyline. He was on with Oprah. Y'all be sure to check that video out on my Facebook and as well as my Instagram. So be sure to check it out in that particular fashion. I think that could be a good thing for us to bring him in. Now, rebuttal time. There was a quick thoughts and shout out to all of the AI machines out there. They were able to chop up some video of Shay Sharp and Ocho Cinco. I want to get in front of this and give you guys my retort of all of these type of conversations. Let's listen to it.
Defensive coordinator. It's a bit of a meteoric rise for Parker, 34, who spent the past 2 seasons under Vic Fangio's staff in Philly and only coached in the NFL since 2019. Yeah. Parker's secondary has been the strength of the Eagles' top 5 scoring defense both years there. Philly ranked first in passing yards allowed in 2024 while giving up 22 touchdowns through the air, the 6th fewest in the NFL. This past season, finished 8th in passing yards allowed and first in passing touchdown surrenders with 14.
Listen properly, ladies and gentlemen. Those are good accolades, by the way. And if you want to claim that he's more of an Eagle guy versus Bronco guy, hey, I'm not here to fight. We're not talking about this. I'm talking about we just getting right to the realities of it, football.
The stark difference from Dallas, which was the worst defense in the league in passing yards allowed, giving up a whopping 35 touchdowns, 31st in 2025. The Dallas also finished 32nd and 30th in points and yards allowed, respectively, which led to the firing of defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus after 1 season. Ocho, you like this hire?
I mean,
before he go into this, I'm just being 1 million. I love the hire. I love the creativity, the spontaneity, and those type of things that we're going to have in the youthfulness. I think that adaptation is something that we needed here, and we're going to see some switchings of that. Now, will there be some growing pains down the stretch? Yeah. This could be the beginning of a lot of people saying, well, Law, what about Brian Flores? Would he been better? Probably so. But this is us catching the Brian Flores before he became a household name in that department. This is us catching a Christian Parker that can help us out down the stretch. And then I heard multitudes of people saying, damn, man, I would have loved for us to have Al Harris instead. Well, Al Harris got to want to have the desire to be that, right? We can't force people to be something that they do not want to be or not inspired to be. And that is the craziest thing. You can't go to that hippo and say, hey, it'll be better if you was the giraffe, or since there's more hippos. I'm just using this as an analogy. that kills more than lions every year. So in that the spot of that particular recognition, well, the hippo should be the king of the jungle. No, the hippo is saying, look, we're good where we at. We don't need those titles and all of those things. So at this time, let Al Harris be Al Harris. Let Christian Parker be Christian Parker is what I'm trying to get at.
The hire doesn't matter, huh? The hire doesn't matter. I mean, you could bring Jesus out there to be the defensive coordinator of the Dallas Cowboys. You're still going to get what you got. You have to understand where coach is coming from, huh? Coach is coming from the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yes.
Their strength and their identity is on the defensive end. Well, hell, you got Cooper DeJean, you got Keon Mitchell, you got
Blankenship,
that front four, that Blankenship, you got
Zach Braun,
you got that front four,
N'Kobe Dean.
Hey, the second level, you got Vaughn. I mean, there's a reason why the defense looked like it did. There's a reason why coaches get jobs to go other places when they've been at places where the goddamn talent level is somewhat damn near elite.
I agree.
And that's
most certainly to a point we can talk about talents and all of this stuff. But before I pretty much beat up Ocho Cinco, before I beat him up, I want to ask you guys, week 1 last season, they mentioned all of those names, Cooper DeJean, not DeJean, Keon Mitchell instead of Quinyon Mitchell, and all of these guys that they are mentioning that they can't get the name right, Reed Blankenship. When we played those guys week 1, did they blow us out? Were they defense so stifling that we couldn't move the ball, baby? Or was it a situation and scenario we were scrambling and scraping for the attempt to move the ball on those said players that he just lamented, right? So let's not get this twisted. It's clearly we could have swept the Eagles last season, right? Let's just be real with all of the things and the antics that they're talking about, by the way. And if I'm not mistaken, Bond, he was pretty much leftover foods and Saints. When he got there, he been there for 2 seasons. Who else been there for 2 seasons? Hey, he looked pretty good. So for what I'm saying is that all of those people that they are lamenting, it goes with 2 things in it, and 2 things can be true, but you still need help with coaching to be able to tap into that trait of skill set that you got and extract it and make sure that you can exemplify those things the best way possible. Because all of the people that they just lamented was the same people that said, man, this Christian Parker, oh my, he gave us some great energy. He taught us, and I wouldn't be the same if it wasn't for him. Are those the words from some of those players that he just lamenting? Right? So all I'm saying is basically, ladies and gentlemen, let's not dismiss coaching. Let's not just look at this and say, all was to be damned because we didn't have the ultimate talent. I said this before. Now, those 2 guys, they played in the National Football League. They've been around football longer than I have, and I get all of that. But one thing I can stand firm on is that coaching do matter. And if you put Shaquille O'Neal on the perimeter and having him to shoot threes or having him being in a position that he can't utilize his skill sets in, regardless of his talent, you would never see it. It would never materialize. It would never come out as a good decision. Why? Because coaching put him in a bad spot. And I'm only using that as an analogy. Shout out to you, Brandy. Appreciate you. The DB room needs help for sure. Yeah, for sure the DB room do need help. But there's nobody before the kickoff of the season said, man, give me Nahshon Wright, man. Give me Nahshon Wright. Oh, my God, if I had Nahshon Wright on this team, oh, man, all would be forgiven. But now that you look at it, by Nahshon Wright with his skill sets and his traits, and he going to a system that knows how to utilize and use him, all of a sudden he's all pro. Juxtaposed to what we've seen out of Trayvon Diggs, I know injury was a part of it, right? Juxtaposed to what we've seen out of Deron Bland. Imagine if Deron Bland never had the coaching of Al Harris, by the way. Would you see $92 million in his pocket? We don't know. he would have been considered a later round draft pick. Maybe, just maybe, right around this time, we would probably finally get a chance to see DeRon Bland. So coaches always do matter to a degree. Now, coaches can't turn water into wine, but I for sure, when Ocho Cinco said, hey, not even Jesus can fix this doggone defense, I'm quite sure that's blasphemous, right? Shoot. Anytime you can feed over 2,000 people with 2 breads and 2 fish, come on, man. He would have been able to flip this defense over just like that. So that's why I want to use those type of reaches or what have you. Coaching do matters.
That's what it is. Now for Coach, Mr. Parker going over to goddamn Dallas, now is where coaching comes into play.
Yep.
If you ain't got the quality or the skill players at those positions, you're still going to get exposed. So what you had to work with in Philly, you don't have to work with in goddamn Dallas. That's going to be the problem that you're going to run into. So it doesn't matter who you bring in the coach if you don't have the quality of players to be able to run the scheme or the system that you want to incorporate.
I hate when people say that, though, by the way. Scheme do fits, but you got to have coaching. And you got to have flexibility. Like I said, the same praises that y'all giving the Eagles, we spotted them, 21 points or something like that the second time we played them. That defense couldn't stop us on the second rip, right? In the second half, they couldn't stop us. So at some point, we got to utilize the skill sets that we have, too. All we are asking for this past season, we wasn't even looking for to be a top 5 defense. We were just saying, man, we was giving Matt Eberflus a little grace for a little small time and said, man, if Matt Eberflus can at least change up a few things and get us right around 20th, we'll take it. We'll take it. We'll take the 20th ranked defense. We'll be still probably playing.
I'm just being honest.
You're being very honest. And I think that's the thing is that I can't, off the top of my head, I don't know if there's a player on Dallas's defense that I would take over somebody on the Eagles' defense, especially not the secondary.
Nobody.
Definitely not the linebackers. I'm not, even Quentin Mitchell, I wouldn't take him over Jordan Davis.
Who? Quentin Mitchell. Is it Quinyon Mitchell? Do you mean Quentin Williams, man? Hold on.
And off the top of my head, I don't know if there's a player on Dallas's defense that I would take over somebody on the Eagles' defense, especially not the secondary.
Nobody.
Definitely not the linebackers. I'm not, even Quentin Mitchell, I wouldn't take him over Jordan Davis.
All I ask.
Hey, come on, man. Come on, man.
Oh, look at my African-American over here.
Are you shitting me?
What the hell, man?
Are you shitting me?
Quentin Williams, man. Come on, man.
I wouldn't. And I know he's been an all-pro, and I know he's going to the Pro Bowl. But right now, as I sit here and we have this conversation, Ocho, I wouldn't. We know Jalen Carter has talent out the yin-yang.
Oh, yeah.
I just need him to play hard all the time.
Man. All right, so the Quentin Williams versus the Jalen Carter thing. I'm quite sure that Quentin Williams, outside of the Super Bowl, because I can't take away Super Bowls, right? But I did look up a chart that Quentin Williams is still better, and he's still graded out better than Jalen Carter. Now, a lot of people, when we first got not Jalen Carter, but when we first got Quentin Williams or Quentin Mitchell, from what he would say, he throwing me off. And when we first got Quentin Williams, I'm quite sure that there were some comparison sheets that was pushed out, and in every category, Quentin Williams still was on top. Now, I'm not trying to gaslight y'all or try to lead y'all into this saying that, hey, man, the damn Eagles got Pro Bowlers and high former Hall of Famers on every level. But what I'm saying is basically, let's not think that Quentin Williams is trash, right? Let's not look at this defense and say, and of course, it was very hard to find any good silver lining out of this past defense. Of course, Matt Eberflus, and to a smaller degree, what we definitely seen out of Mike Zim when he was here. These two season's it's been rough for us on defense. But Quentin Williams, in this system, I haven't seen it yet, but I'm quite sure if you are to redo it and you have a complete coaching system where we have realism as it relates to expectations from linebackers and safeties, and somebody with gravitas of things hanging below, you know what I mean? Gonads. This whole situation is not even a conversation. We had no business. There's people watching right now that can tell you, look, the Cowboys had no business having Kenneth Murray out there. The Cowboys had no business, and my guy, my dog, my dog, Donovan Wilson, they had no business of putting him out there at free safety or roaming from hook to sideline. We all knew of those things, and the coaching staff didn't know, but I'm quite sure that this particular coaching staff will know, damn, Dono, hey, we're going to have to move you on from being out here in no man's land, bro. And damn, Kenneth Murray.
At Quinton Warner C.
Hey, no way.
$9.99. Law, you are right, L scheme matters. However, I can't just dismiss everything Chad is saying. You can't go into 2026 with that mess at MLB. You need a few pieces.
Hell yeah. Why wasn't Nahshon Wright cut from Minnesota and it was never discussed? All right, so good. I got some feedback on that, and I appreciate you. Good questioning, and I'm going to go back to both of y'all super chats. All right, I had Mama Wright to give me a call, and she was waiting for the release of Al Harris for wherever he was going to go. Nahshon Wright had played so well and performed so well in Minnesota that it was up to him on whether or not he will be released to stay there in Minnesota or to go wherever Al Harris went. So, for example, if Al Harris were to stay in Dallas, Nahshon Wright would have been in the Dallas Cowboys uniform. But Al Harris got an offer that he could not refuse up there in Chicago, and there's how you got Nahshon Wright from Minnesota back to Chicago. So that's just for what had happened. Sometimes players know who's in their corner, and sometimes players understand that, hey, I got to have somewhere where someone believes in me, and Al Harris believed in Nahshon Wright's skill set and beyond. So that's why he was really released. He was never cut from the Minnesota Vikings, basically, in short. Now, granted, it looks like, hey, he was horrible there and he got cut, and Chicago picked him up, but that's the real raw story. Now, far as Quentin Warner on the Mike linebacker, it's the difference. When you're a 34-year-old coach, a defensive coordinator, right, and you still trying to earn your name out there, you ain't finna mess around and play the political game and bullsugar it around. What I believe Christian Parker is going to do is he's going to tell the truth. Look, Kenneth Murray, I like what you can do, bro, but I'm right now running this drill better than you. Therefore, I got to make sure that I cover I got a CYA approach, man. I got to cover my you-know-what backside. Therefore, Mears live foul. He's a little bit closer, I'm going to play the youth. Or he's going to look into the phone and he's going to look into Jerry Jones' eyes and say, hey, with this being for what it is, I need real players. If you want to be a better defense than the 32nd and the 31st ranked defense, then we're going to have the ingredients. Yes, so that's how that goes from there. I didn't know that. This is from Brandon. Appreciate you. I didn't know that about Nahshon was cut in 2024 season and was signed to the practice squad. Yes, so that's what happened. There's a lot of negotiations as it relates to when players are cut, where they go to the practice squad or whether they're reserved for another room. For example, just to make this all clear to you all, there's a guy by the name of Ron Flanoy. He wears number 19. He was cut from the Dallas Cowboys. Why? Because they needed extra spot on the team for another guy for the fill-in and solidify a role on the offensive line. What's that guy? People don't even know the name of the other guy that was cut for that particular spot. But sometimes teams do business decisions. But they always told my guy, not Nahshon, but Ron Flanoy, be on the lookout. We're going to try to bring you back in as soon as that open available spot comes available. But unfortunately, due to roster gymnastics, we got to cut you. That's the cold, hard business of being a football player in the National Football League.
I mean, I need Vic Fangio to get in his ear and have a conversation with him. Hopefully he called him in and said, son, if you're not in Defensive Player of the Year discussion, you failed. We failed you and you failed us.
Right.
You have that kind of ability. Vic Fangio has been around some of the great talent defensive players in the league. I remember having a conversation with Wade Phillips. Wade was the D coordinator in Houston. And I was asking him about J.J. Watt. And he said, Shannon, they keep talking about he a bust. He's going to be a bust. He said, Shannon, he's going to have a bust in Canton with you. I swear, Ocho, that's what he told me.
Right.
He said, Shannon, he's gonna have a bust in Canton with you. Before the guy even played a down. He said, if you watch this guy in practice, now I think he would know. He coached Reggie White, he coached Ricky Jackson, he coached Von Miller, he coached a lot of great what's the guy? He won Defensive Player of the Year at Buffalo.
Bruce Smith.
Bryce Pop.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Bruce Smith.
Oh, yeah, right.
Bryce Pop was the defensive.
All right. That's somebody with reach. That's somebody with reach. A woman out there in the streets for over 30 years gonna have a lot of bodies, right? A woman that just started, she ain't gonna have all of them bodies. Ooh, I hate to use that as an analogy, but it just fit right on in. You know, sometimes you got to start your count when it's time to start your count. And what I'm saying is basically, we can't sit back and say, well, CP, man, he never got a chance to coach these X, Y, and Z guys. Man, come on, man. Even with a Costco sample size, you got to understand Pat Surtain is speaking glowingly of his name. Justin Simmons is speaking glowingly of his name. The other guy, Slay, spoke glowingly of his name, right? Quinyon and Cooper DeJean, Billie Jean speaking glowingly of his name. So there's multitudes of people speaking glowingly of his name, and he just got started. His body count haven't even got started rolling yet. Now, when you start talking about Vic Fangio, who's been in the league since maybe the early parts of the 90s, I've seen when he was on the 49ers or the Denver Broncos. Way in 92 and 93, Vic Fangio been around for a long time before the kid was born. So, yes. Now, here's the other thing, and let me read this super chat. Did we ever find out Mears got fewer snaps because he wasn't in the wheelhouse of Matt Eberflus, right? He wasn't part of his system. DP says women are logging on 5, 4, 3, 2. I got nothing but love for the ladies, you know. Yeah. Yeah.
Got nothing but love for you.
Fellas have body counts too, you know what I'm saying, just to make it fair and balanced. But I got nothing but love for the ladies.
Love for you, baby. Got nothing but love.
Come on, choir. Baby. Thank you. And remember, y'all know I'm telling the truth. It was a thing back in Mississippi. You know, when you talk to the lady, just multiply it by 2, you know. I only been with 5, and it's times 2. You know what I'm saying? And fellas, when they talking around, fellas just divided by 2. Them jokers be lying, you know. Yeah, man, I knocked off Sweeze, man. Kamika about 10 times ago, man. Yeah, man. You divide that by a couple of numbers, though. You know what I'm saying? He lying over there. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. Just multiply. I only had 10. Yeah, times 2.
Player of the Year. Bruce Smith was a Defensive Player of the Year. Reggie White was a Defensive Player of the Year. Ricky Jackson in the Hall of Fame. Von Miller, we know he coached.
Shannon immediately points out the contrast.
No doubt, man. Shout out to this channel right here. They done did a great little small miniature excerpt of everything so that they can get credit. Yeah. Talk about it law both ways. Yeah, you know, I did. I threw it in. Yeah. All right. So back to football aspects of it, you know. But just to be fair, If a fella have a high body count, he's a player. If a woman have a high body count, she's a boy, see, I'm fair and balanced over here. I'm telling y'all the truth, man. Yes, indeed. My high count can't cost us no. Yeah. Jeez. All right, let me get back to the conversation at hand. I love y'all. Let's get back to it. With that being said, Cowboys, the Dallas Cowboys heading into this situation, I think that we are good. But Bobby Belt was talking about something with high IQ with the CP, and this is what he said in 2022. Let's listen.
You want to look the same as often as possible. The old thing was looking at the safeties. You want to read the weak safety. Is he lower than the other one? That means it's probably some type of cover 3 rotation. Are they deeper, cover 2? But now, because everybody's standing at too high shell, you look at the linebackers and the nickel. So my nickel, I can't be inside leverage one play, outside leverage another. Like I want to be zeroed up, and then I want to step to my leverage post snap. So we want to keep the same picture from a secondary standpoint. And then everything you're doing with the front, from blitzes and stunts and everything, you want to just try to find out what the offensive lineman's rules are so you can kind of create what you want. So whether it's overloading one side to create a one-on-one somewhere else, you know what offensive lineman struggles with stunt games, and you're going to try to get that on him and isolate somebody else, whatever it is. So you leave the quarterback out of it in some of those aspects, you can affect other people on the field. Because a lot of teams, the offensive linemen are the ones who control the protection. So you want to do what you can to influence them. And then from our standpoint on the back end, it's just looking the same as much as we can to try to, talk them into doing some things that they don't want to do.
Man, yeah, and that's what vision-based defense is all about. It's understanding your keys, the qualities of it, and that's just how it goes, unfortunately. Yeah, just like someone said in the chat, seeing double standards. Yeah, there's always going to be double standards. Quarterback's going to get most of the blame, but they're going to get most of the fame. Terry Bradshaw is still mentioned to this day. A third of the team that Terry Bradshaw played on, people forget about those other names. Trent Difford, they're going to forever, it can be 30 years from now, Trent Difford's name will forever be mentioned, right? Brad Johnson and them. But other people that was on those teams fade away, So that's just how it goes. Unfortunately, that's life. Double standards will always be for what it is, right? So if a strong man come in this door, it is sought for Law Nation to protect his house, not his people that staying in here, right? Y'all get how that goes, right? So you might break in easily, and you could be breaking in easily, but you're going to walk out probably never. It's going to be hard for you to get out of here alive. You know how that goes. But that's just how life is, too, in general. I do love the aspect of us thinking and not being a team that's sitting out here saying through osmosis that things are going to get better. No, I want things to become better by thinking and putting out a well-thought-out plan to get things going the best way possible. I love that, and I pretty much think that the Cowboys got that, and they're going to get that from this young kid. Let's listen to what they had to say about this one. Bear with me.
I don't know if this is too vague of a question, but the job you've done this year is very impressive. As a defensive backs coach, just what's your philosophy on what you think makes a great defensive backs coach? Like, what do you think are the key parts of your job?
Well, number one, I think it's about everybody being on the same page and being connected. I think it starts with us as the coaching staff.
Can y'all hear that? It's a little muffled.
So me, Roy, and Joe being on the same page with Vic, being an extension of him and how we see things. I think it's important to be demanding of those guys on the little details. Everybody's talented, but what are the little things that you're willing to do to separate yourself from everybody else? How are you willing to cause other people to make plays? So whether that's, Reed being the trick safety and catching a 3-over so Chauncey can play with outside leverage and capture a sail route, or Cooper, rerouting a player so it takes the speed off of somebody else to make the corner's job easier, or whatever it is. Just understanding how we're connected on the back end, and then when it's your time to put that hard hat on and when you're one-on-one, then you own that too.
What have you learned from Nick Sirianni this year?
I think the main thing with Nick, man, is, just you lock in and you're laser focused on the little things and how they become big. And so being, the tough detail together, those things, he always talks about football hasn't changed. So how you tackle, how you get off blocks, how you catch the ball, how you disrupt the ball, how you...
All right, so I do like the fact, and I appreciate you, how you tackle, how you protect the ball, how you strip and go for the ball. the rudiments and the fundamentals of tackling and the fundamentals of football is a better way to say it. Show of hands in the chat with, let me use a number. My favorite number today is 9. Put 9 in the chat. If you've seen this game in the last 2 seasons or more where we had tackling issues, like we had issues with the fundamentals of things, being offsides, too many men on the field. Y'all get what I'm saying? How many times? Now that's the other part that Dallas Cowboys need to correct. Those parts, you can probably count this past season on your hand. How many times we lost the game because the late hits, the things that we can control, right? Face masks, right? Leaning and trying to tackle with your shoulders. Put a 9 in the chat, man. If you had to go through all of those things, you had to sit there and witness the Cowboys getting everything going, moving and grooving. Illegal hand to the face on 3rd and 15. Automatic first down. Offsides on 3rd and 4. You offside. Like, come on, man. You're 3rd and 4. Automatic first down. Too many men on the field. Those drive extenders. Now, subjective calls with pass interferences and stuff like that. You know what? I can live with some of those subjective calls. Pass interference is neither here nor there. But where you judge a team on whether or not they are well disciplined, are those pre-snap penalties. What you doing offsides? What you doing closing your eyes to tackle? You know, that's in the game, right? What you doing jumping onto a pile when the whistle's already been blown? There's a good one from Brandon. States that the Dallas have had fundamentals issues since Rob Ryan got fired. You're right. So it's time out. Hopefully this guy can identify, and I'm using this word hopefully, because as much as I can't stand them damn Eagles, they were a team that was less penalized than us. They had a little bit more discipline than us. And I'm talking about the things of too many men on the field, offsides, those type of things that the officials, even the Illuminati officials, had nothing to do with. Right? The Illuminati officials sitting there like, damn, we tried to give Cowboys a little slide here, and they the ones with 12 men on the field. They the one go offsides on 3rd and 4. You know, so those are the things that we have to really drive home to, right? As it relates to disciplined team, you cannot win in the National Football League by being an undisciplined team. It doesn't matter how good your defense is. Defense, believe it or not, is also your discipline.
You're situationally aware. Those things will never change. And his awareness for how to prepare a team from a mental perspective is at an extremely high level. He's always challenging us as coaches. He's challenging himself. He's accountable to himself first. And I think when you have a leader who's accountable to himself first, willing to admit when he makes mistakes, willing to have a wide lens on what everybody needs and allow you to do your job at a high level, but he's very clear in terms of his expectations of what he expects you to do, your group to do, and individual players to do. And explicitly state that, I think that's a sign of a really good head coach, and he does a really good job of that.
So being around a guy like Vic Fangio, obviously you're a younger coach. He's a bit of an older coach. What's that experience been like, and what do you think you've learned from him that you feel will help you the rest of your coaching career?
Yeah, so obviously my second year with Vic, he hired me in 2021 in Denver. I think the one thing with Vic is just he's consistent as they come. So every day I know I can walk by his office on Monday morning, I know what he's doing. Monday afternoon, I know what he's doing. Tuesday morning, I know what he's doing. He's very consistent in what he does. He has a process. He sticks to it. He challenges us as coaches. He challenges players in his own way. And I think he's phenomenal. There's not a better defensive mind or a game plan, game day play caller than him. I've learned so much from him, and I continue to do so.
All right, so with that being said, he said, he's giving Vic Fangio his flowers, right? And what I really want to say is with Vic Fangio is that I'm not a fool. I'm not crazy. Right? Follow me. I'm not giving CP all of the credit. But there's something about a coach who's been around for that long and length of a time that said, in order for this to work for me, I got to give CP an opportunity. Because at some point, you can be the hero so long you become the villain, right? And now I've heard that in some type of Batman show. Y'all can let me know what show it was. But you can be the hero so long you become the villain. And that's where probably Vic Fangio was at. He was the type or the kind of caliber of coach who he still is. They're stern and consistent like what he just gave him flowers for. But even though he probably was so stern and consistent and so focused and lasered in, is that he didn't know how to identify with those players out there on the field. He didn't know how to tap into the psychiness, into the common thing as it relates to culture and all of that stuff of those players. He only knew from his point of view. But this kid right here, Christian Parker, he knew how to really galvanize the troops and to be able to relate what the message from Vic Fangio is to those individuals. So that's why people are like, damn, man, we definitely don't want Parker to leave. Damn. We definitely need this. We need something similar like this. Now, Vic Fangio, smart, focus-driven coach. Like they say, consistency. I was reading. No, it was absolutely on the video. I need to find it. And here it was the day after the Super Bowl, or the day during the Super Bowl, after they done won last year. Vic Fangio was still in the press box, going over plays and stuff, saying this is how much they left out. He was still pissed off, ladies and gentlemen. True story. I'm about to find that clip. That's how focused Vic Fangio is. He was still pissed off after they done blew out the Kansas City Chiefs. He was still calling other players, hey, come on to the office. Hey, on this play, you was at the wrong hash. You need to be 4 or 5 steps closer. Give me that. And if Christian Parker can pick up some of those things, not all of those things, it's going to be a plus for us. True story. Yeah. Also, with that, consistency is what he brought up. Don't y'all know a drop of water can split a rock? A drop of water can split a rock if it's consistent enough. And if you are consistent enough, and if you are focused and lasered in enough, nothing on this planet can stop you. Come on with it, man. Don't have me to get into my my motivation stance, man. So that's what I'm looking for. And that's what I like about this particular hire. And now all we got to do is continue to bring in like-minded individuals. Will this work? Will the Cowboys go to the Super Bowl? No, we shouldn't be talking about that. We need to assemble the team first before we start talking about a Super Bowl, a super plate, fork, or knife, right? I don't want nothing super in front of it. We still assembling this team together. Yeah.
Passing touchdowns. More than doubled the amount of passing touchdowns the Eagles gave up.
You said the Eagles were 14? That's 2.5 times as many passing touchdowns.
Kevin, do you know who had the least passing touchdowns given up this year?
Oh, the Eagles?
Eagles.
Hell yeah.
Fangio is the architect of that defense. And Fangio has had a lot of success shutting down the best offenses on the planet, and he's been around for a while because of what his defense is. This is a guy that's been with him for a couple of years, understands the structure of that defense, probably has his own ideas on it, but understands the basics and what that defense is and how it can be used. What's happened, this Fangio-style defense has slowed down Patrick Mahomes. There've been other things that have been problems. So we're looking at a guy that his passing defense gave up 14. Again, had elite talent.
Great talent.
Hey, say what you want. It hit me, man. If Fangio defense really did what it did against Pat Mahomes, and if we gonna have variations of this damn defense here, I only can imagine what they're gonna do to Jalen Hurts, man. And I'm hearing that the Eagles, they're being dismantled, right? They lose CP. They lose. If we finna grab their linebacker coach, Ronnell Williams, who's really nice. I'm going to talk about his backstory, by the way. And then on top of that, you damn near about to lose your D-line coach. I think his name is Hurts, too, and he's about to go to another team. That's going to be a whole different organization. And now you're going to look at Fangio, because Fangio, good defensive coordinators do fall off sometimes. And I'm not saying that it will be this next season. But what I'm saying is, if you lose some of the people that can relate and have that communication line to the others, it can be like, damn, I got to start all the way over again, because Fangio can only be at one place at one time. You know, he don't have that type of power to be every place at every time. And what you want to do as a coach always is make many disciples of what you're trying to deliver, many teachings of thoughts of what you're trying to deliver. And if those things are not on a consistent basis and you start losing your base, it's hard, man. You know, it was hard when we lost Dave Wanstead back in the days. He was all young DC. When we lost him to the Chicago and all of this, it took us a little minute. We were scrabbling and scraping, but although we were still winning, it's difficult in those situations there.
That he worked with, too.
Sure.
This Cowboys defense, absolutely, they have to go get more talent. That's what they have 2 first-round picks for, if they want to do that. And that's what they have, an extra $40 million that they are sitting on right
70.
now. Potentially 70.
Easy.
With Pickens?
I ain't going to even discuss the Pickens thing, because I'm gonna try to stay focused. I'm gonna try to stay focused on defense, and I want y'all to stay focused and support the nation with these type of things too, because I don't want y'all to sleep on the wrong things, sleep on the right things.
Sleeper is the #1 fantasy sports app. It pays to know sports. Pick more or less on top players. Your first pick is on us, so start winning now. Play in Texas, Georgia, Minnesota, and 27 more states. Pick anytime across all sports, pregame or live. Over 10 million players are already on Sleeper. Make your picks count. Score up to 1,000 times your cash. Join today, get up to $100 credit using code LAW. Call your shot on Sleeper. Download now.
No doubt, download Sleeper, use promo code LAW. And when you utilize and use the promo code, $20 from me to you is provided, right? On top of that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, they will match up to $100 on your first initial $100 deposit. So that's more bang for your buck. So stay nuck if you buck. Come on, y'all remember nuck if you buck. Y'all stay nuck if you buck, man, with Law Nation Sports, man. And just continue to use that promo code LAW. I'm not finna touch on this George Pickens. We got CP, and all we need to continue this is a GP. GP, are you with me? Come on, man. I know they're going to keep GP. The Cowboys are not that idiotic. If in a way, if they are, then it's another one to be like, damn, man, come on, man. Ham, no burger, peanut butter, no jelly. This offense, y'all better not fall off next season, because I know this defense. I know this defense going to be something special. And I know it's way too soon to say, but I don't foresee 3 years of terrible defenses in the Dallas Cowboys situation. No, I don't see this. So offense, get y'all SHI. Come on, man. Y'all can put the T in there together. Come on, man. Where my playmaker? Where you at when I need you, man?
Are you shitting me?
No.
Are you shitting me?
All right, I haven't heard this gang of 7 from Brian Broaddus on the Parker brother. So let me see what he got to say.
I forgot I had a guy that actually worked with this guy and knows this guy.
I love all the guys on guys.
It took me looking up, going through a media guide situation.
Brian, don't you fall into that guy. I know a guy. I know what I'm talking about. Brian, don't you fall into that guy, man. I ain't going to be mad at you if you do. But, Brian, don't be doing this. Hey, I know this guy. I forgot that I knew him, but he worked with this guy. Don't do it like that, Brian Brothers. You know what I'm saying?
Are you shitting me?
No, I'm not. Yeah, I got a guy. Let me start this all over again. That tickled me when he said, hey, I got a guy that worked with this guy, but I forgot that he worked with this guy. But here we are.
I forgot I had a guy that actually worked with this guy and knows this guy.
I love all the guys on guys.
Oh, my God, man.
It took me looking up, going through a media guide situation.
The Black Book,
Oh, well done. And I'm like, oh, okay. So here's a guy that actually was working with this guy, with Coach Parker. And I said, hey, give me some insight here. Give me a little insight on what we're getting here. And so I finally got a text back. He said, Coach Parker's very smart. He's a very high football IQ. He grinds on film. Outstanding teacher, strong on fundamentals first, then techniques, everyday improvements is what he strives for. He builds relationship with players and gains trust for him for the buy-in. Firm but fair. Big on holding a player accountable.
Okay.
Talked about that, Dawson.
Mm-hmm.
Keep it simple so you play fast.
There we go.
Goal is to find the key that unlocks what motivates a player to get him to be the player, a productive player, reach full potential. Not all players are the same. And the big thing he says his mentor is Vic Fangio. So this guy, that's what he described Coach Parker as.
I know you can't name drop a guy, but man, it was very close to this guy right here. Y'all know who I'm talking about. You know, I don't know how grainy this picture gonna be, but yeah. Hey, I got a guy. Come on, man, help me out.
That type of a coach.
Sounds like what you want.
Another guy just texted me, and we kind of a similar what we all just talked about, but. Here's something different. He says he finds out what a player does best and works the scheme around the player's strengths. That was something this other guy said. So,
I mean, it's certainly easier said than done, but that's exactly what you want to hear.
Yeah.
Shit. Hey, man. BB, man, that's my guy, man. That joke. Ancient aliens exist. They were the ones that was here thousands of years before humans was here, and they built the pyramids. They knew free energy. Now I know this guy, you know.
I mean, that is exactly what you want to hear. That was one of the things that frustrated us about Eberflus, and I think that's really one of the big line of demarcations from just like your run-of-the-mill coach and your legit top-tier kind of guy.
Yeah.
It's like, give me the ingredients and I'll tell you what the meal's going to be. I can't just have the meal without the right ingredients.
And I think, that idea has been around for a long time. I don't know how the Cowboys got so distanced from it, especially because Dan Quinn was pretty good at that kind of stuff. So hopefully this is a big step in the direction of the Cowboys becoming more aligned with what's working across the league. And it's awesome that this guy's been so popular, and everybody that's talking about him right now is just singing his praises for one reason or another.
No doubt, man. Hey, that's my guy, Brian Broaddus, man. One of the best in the business, man. So don't get it twisted, y'all. I'm not making fun of him, but I am. Yes, indeed. Hell yeah, man. The ancient alien. That's his name, the scientist guy, the ancient alien, alien con. You know. Oh, my God, man. Let me see if I can find ancient alien, the alien guy. You know, that's crazy, y'all. That's crazy. But not to get too Swayze crazy over here. Let's go. And this is what he said over here with Nick Harris.
Nick, I'm going to put you in a really unfair situation, but I wonder, just kind of speculate what you think he told Jerry and Steven and Will and Shoddy to get this job about this defense.
I think he has a deep understanding of the defensive personnel because obviously he's been in the division for the last couple of years. I mean, if it were me, right, and let's pretend I won the job, I think I would go to them and be like, look, you have really good bones. You have the Quinnen Williams, the DeMarvion Overshown, the Deron Bland, the Savone Revel. Let's keep these guys in the places where they thrive the most, and let's fill in the gaps. You know, we have 2 first-round picks that we're going to use on this side of the ball, ideally. These are the evaluations that I think could fit in that situation. And then you also look at the free agents that are coming up as well. Nakobe Dean is one of them. Reed Blankenship is another. That he maybe pitch one of those guys being like, hey, I feel like I can get this guy here, and he can serve this purpose for this defense, this, that, and the third. The preparation standpoint and the preparation point that continues to be talked back to me, that's where I feel confidence that, Jerry, Steve, and Brian Schottenheimer, Will McClay, that they came out of that interview and they said, okay, he has a plan. And that's where I think he won this job. They feel comfortable with his plan because he's a first-time coordinator. It's the first time that they've done this in nearly 20 years. He had to have a pretty damn good plan to be able to build this defense this offseason and then this scheme as well. And I'm very, very excited to see what exactly that looks like.
Nick,
no doubt, man. So that's Nick Harris, his thoughts on, hey, man, I got this guy. Hey, and is it possible? Hold on. Oh, my God, boy. I have a little fun here. Hold on, y'all, bear with me. Is it? Yes, it is possible. Such thing, is it even possible? Yes. Now, let me ask y'all this. Do this guy, do he wake up in the morning? Do he fix his own hair that way? But everything is possible, man. Yeah. Back to my guy.
I forgot I had a guy that actually worked with this guy and knows this guy.
I love all the guys on guys.
It took me looking up, going through a media guide situation.
The black book.
Oh, well done.
And I'm like, oh, okay. So here's a guy that actually was working with this guy, with Coach Parker. And I said, hey, give me some insight here. Give me a little insight on what we're getting here. And so I finally got a text back. He said, Coach Parker is very smart. He's a very high football IQ. He grinds on film. Outstanding teacher, strong on fundamentals first, then techniques, everyday improvements is what he strives for. He builds relationship with players and gains trust for him for the buy-in. Firm but fair, big on holding a player accountable. We talked about that, Dawson. Mm-hmm. Keep it simple so you play fast.
Here we go.
No doubt.
Goal is to find the key that unlocks what motivates a player to get him to be the player, a productive player, reach full potential. Not all players are the same.
No doubt. That's my guy. I'm quit beating him up. But this is Jesse Palmer on Parker.
What type of person do you know him to be?
So I would say the best traits that Christian has, and just from the conversations I've had with him over the years, are he's an unbelievable communicator of what he wants to get across during the week. The players have always known exactly what their role, what their assignment, what they need to accomplish that week is displayed to them extremely clearly. He evaluates talent really, really well. I mean, the two guys that, I know obviously a lot goes into drafting players, right? A lot of people have to say the process is lengthy throughout the entire thing. But early on, my understanding was he made a very clear statement that we need Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. He thought Quinyon was the best corner in the draft. He thought Cooper was the best football player in the secondary in the draft.
All right, so I heard someone lamenting the fact that, hey, do you want Mansour Delane, right? Or do you want Jamad McCoy? Listen to what this guy Palmer said collectively. Listen to what he said. He literally laid it out. That they went and got the best DB out of this particular past draft, and they went and got the best football player out of this past draft. Now, the best football player may be a 6-foot guy that's 205 pounds that's named Caleb Downs, right? He may be the best football player. Don't know what he can do on the professional NFL level, but he's the best football player, an impactful player. Look, when I watch tape on these top 15 guys. I'm watching to say, what do they don't do well at? What are their issues, right? Because we all know that they're going to be hyped up and pumped up and beyond, right? But if we are looking at this thing, far as the best football player out of this draft, it could very much so be Caleb Downs if you mix in what CP can do, right? And if you're looking at it from the aspect of the best cornerback in this draft, healthy, off a good bill of health, you may look at Mansour Delane. The problem is with Delane is that there are going to be some numbers that come out of this combine. If he's going to do that, he's not going to run the fastest of the feet of the speed there that you're looking for, and you're going to have some questions about his long speed. But man, he is a stickler. He's sticky though. But the best cornerback, if you evaluate him properly, you're going to sit back after a few series and you're going to say, man, that Jamad McCoy, he's damn near the best cornerback. But he got the biggest reservation as it relates to flags. We just went through that storyline before. Law, what are you saying? Them ACLs, MCLs, an L is what we've been taking as it relates to those knees, man. Unless they come out with some new philosophies and theories on what you can do for a knee and get that synovial fluid back in there, it's going to stay away from those boys. But Jamad McCoy, if you look at the tape, you'll say to yourself, all right, this boy's nice. There's another guy named Chris Johnson from I want to say San Diego. Y'all bear with me. Chris Johnson, a good DB, and I'm looking at his tape now. We can argue D'Angelo Pons. This particular draft, as it relates to DBs, it's going to be damn near impossible for you not to get a good one. That's all I'm gonna say. It's going to be hard not to get a good one though.
I don't know if a lot of people thought that about Cooper DeJean, but he did. And he's kind of, from my understanding, really the one who pushed for both of those guys to be drafted, pushed hard. And so to me, that's how does he impact you in the draft process? Because Dallas needs some players on that side of the ball. He evaluates talent really, really well. But communication to me is a big part of what he does. And he knows, you ask him about any player, like any receiver, he will tell you everything about that.
San Diego State, Chris Johnson. Yeah.
A receiver off the top of his head. Like it's pretty remarkable what he can kind of digest and know, but the communication part's the part that stands out to me.
What type of person?
The communication, man. We need that. We want that. We would love to have that. Yeah, somebody said Chris Johnson. He got one of them damn common names, man. Chris Johnson, you know, how many Chris? We probably got a Chris Johnson right now watching. Chris Johnson. Yeah, hell, Chris is so common. That's my middle name, Chris. Yeah, Law Christopher Nation, baby. Hey, if you're a Chris, put it in the chat, man. That's a nice name, though. You know, Chris Johnson. San Diego State. He's 6 foot, right at 100 and close to 205. He's a really solid kid. I do like his skill set, but I'm gonna break down that little film for y'all a little bit better. Yeah, have you passed on McCoy after that ACL tear? This is from Raw Talk. It's just difficult because of the historical reference that we had with hurt DBs, right? Bland hurt, Trayvon Diggs hurt. My guy Josh Butler hurt, you know. Elam was healthy, but he was hurt mentally, you know. We had hurt. Carson's hurt, you know. Every DB been hurt. Siobhan Revel hurt, you know, coming off of that injury, recovering. That's a better way to say it. Every DB we done had around this piece hurt. If it hurt, we've been the hurt boys on DBs, man. Yes, indeed. So we're going to have to rectify that and correct that, but shout out to his thoughts on that.
Good morning, James. How are you?
I'm good, gentlemen. Congratulations. I think you got a good one. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, why are congratulations in order, in your opinion?
Yeah, this has been a rising star, honestly. If you ask coaches around the league and coaches that know Christian really, really well, and obviously I was here in Denver when he was hired, and you always look at coaches, specifically position coaches, when there's regime changes, and that's happened a lot in Denver over the last several years, and Christian was always one of the very few coaches that remained. He was brought in by Vic Fangio, and I always heard the story where, defensive coaches love to pick Vic Fangio's mind, and that was something Christian wanted to do, obviously, like every other young defensive coach. And when he first got a chance to meet Vic, I was always told that Vic was kind of blown away because he wasn't just asking for Vic's knowledge and almost have, him go and just spew everything he knows and almost just take advantage of the conversation. Christian contributed a lot to that conversation when they first met before he even landed in Denver and really impressed Fangio about his acumen and what he knew about defensive football. So Vic brings him into Denver, and then obviously Vic ends up departing and he stays because Nathaniel Hackett wants to keep him. That situation didn't go well. Even after, actually, remember when that defense got 70 points put on them in Sean Payton's first year by the Dolphins. There was a lot of buzz, honestly, that Vance Joseph was going to be let go pretty quickly in that first year. And the name I was hearing in the building was like a young guy about 30 years old was going to be the guy who was going to replace Vance Joseph.
Before they go into that, man, them some good flowers, man. Shout out to Palmer for that. Vance Joseph, I'm thinking that there will be a semi-parade even if we were to make him our DC this past, DC search lookup, right? I will play a piece on Marcus Dixon that I can play. I can't play the entirety piece of a little background to shed light of what happened to his story in a few. And a matter of fact, I'll play it after this clip. And then I will almost transition over to Ronnell Williams, the linebacker guy that we are interviewing. From what I was told, that these guys are CP's first initial guys, right? That they say, hey, who do you really want? Hey, he pointed out these two guys here. So it's up to them. I ain't going to even hold you. Sometimes when you first get that job opportunity, you say to yourself, let me make sure I get the best guys I know possible to help me out. And that could be the situation. But let's listen to the rest of this about CP.
CP was going to be let go mid-season, and that was Christian Parker, and Sean kept him. And then when Vic got back to Philly, I say back to Philly because he's from there, and so he wanted Christian Parker back, and Sean Payton did not want to let him go, and that's how much Sean thought of him and what the work he was doing with Pat Surtain, and that was a back and forth between Philadelphia and Denver, to my understanding, because both teams wanted him so badly, and Philadelphia definitely had to do a lot to bring him there, and you've seen the success, obviously, recently he's had in the division. So this is a guy that other coaches that I believe are some of the best in football on the defensive side of the ball think the absolute world of Christian Parker.
Good morning, James.
Yeah. So that was Palmer's initial thoughts on Christian Parker. We're just doing a fact-finding mission for right now. And we're trying to shed light on some of the guys that can probably help this team out tremendously. Bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. Let me see if I can pull this one in. Hold on. Boom. All right. Because I can only play some of this. I can't play all of this. The Marcus story. Let me see if I can find that. All right, AI, pull it up for me and go. Yeah. Hold on, bear with me, ladies and gentlemen.
Marcus Dixon. Marcus Dixon. Defensive lines in all of football. Marcus Dixon, the assistant defensive line coach for LA, his first season coaching.
My name is Marcus Dixon, and I am the defensive line coach for the Minnesota Vikings. And was accused of rape, and the DA threw in aggravated child molestation. So went to jail, lost my scholarship, And it's the fast forward through, go through the court situation. Had a lot of support. Brian Gumble.
Are you surprised to find yourself where you are today?
Not surprised, more of just being blessed. Oprah Winfrey.
Marcus has gone on to great things.
I was sentenced to do 15 years, served 10. I was cut after the third game in 2012. Then it was kind of like a up and down journey. Tried out for the Patriots that year, the Dolphins. Didn't get picked up. 2013, February 2013, I went to the Kansas City Chiefs. Was on the team, got cut last cut. Again, trying to find a job. Didn't get on the team that year. Long story short, ended up choosing to go to Hampton University. Coach Joe Taylor, and President Harvey accepted me in there. Stayed there for 4 years, 3-year captain, 4-year starter, All-American, All-MEAC, and had opportunity to go to the NFL. I was undrafted. In February 17, 2021, I was hired by the LA Rams.
Listen properly. That's all I needed to say. I said, hey, bring him on, man. Bring him in for a half a cup of coffee and hey, you ham, dog? You want a ham sandwich? I got a chicken sandwich over there in the corner. Bring him in for a half a cup of coffee. He don't eat the swine. Okay, give him a chicken sandwich, man, and some French fries or something like that. Bring him in. That's what I was thinking when I saw this, you know. Hey, I need that on my D-line.
Super Bowl as assistant D-line coach. February 17, 2022, I ended up going to Denver Broncos with a promotion as the D-line coach. So I was there for 2 years, 22, 23, and now I'm the D-line coach at the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, look at God. You know what I'm saying?
Hope I can inspire anybody that just looks into my story and see that where I came from and just know, like, if I made it through and I'm still making it, I'm still trying to make it happen, I promise you that you can do the same.
No doubt, man. And one of the things that I want to say here is that there's many of people who probably know someone that been falsely or wrongfully accused of something, and it derailed their life, and to have that heart to say, you know what, I forgive the other person. You know, we were both young at the time and all of this stuff, but his whole career done changed, right? You know. Whole career changed just by somebody lying on him, you know. And that's how the enemy worked, but you got to continue to move forward and press forward. And that was my message earlier on this clip. And I think I can play my own message. Hold on, let me just. Most certainly. Storylines like this, man, thousands of stories like this may have never made it out to the forefront. So if you guys got a story similar, post it down below. But it's great to know that this man continued to move and continue to press forward. Remember, when it's your purpose, you don't need permissions, and he's operating in his purpose. He definitely wanted to be a coach, and he's that. He definitely wanted to play in the National Football League, and he did that. It's just sometimes storylines don't align with what you may have, but you still got to keep that faith in your heart and continue to move forward. So, unbelievable story altogether. Marcus Dixon, if he becomes the defensive line coach here, I'm quite sure some of that pedigree will smooth over and slide over, especially by being able to work with Aaron Donald and those boys lifting up that Lombardi Trophy. Cowboys, hey, this could be a great situation. I know a lot of you guys, when we post the release from yesterday, a lot of people were saying, hey, we already got Aaron Whitecotton, or we should go look at someone else. Man, this storyline goes full circle. I'm just saying, everyone has a reason, but results are what matter. In the last decade, he can at least walk in boldly and say, hey, with grace and mercy, I was able to lift up that Lombardi Trophy and be a part of something that's special. Let's bring that back to the Palace in Dallas. Let's continue to grind and shine. Let me know of your thoughts. Let me know of your concerns down below. Continue to listen and look around on all of the eligible defensive assistant coaches that we can bring in. I do like Christian Parker to that degree. But let's not put ourselves in a box, and let's continue to figure this thing out. DC for life, not for short. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Oh, bruh, put me on the show next. I need a cameo somewhere. No doubt, no doubt. And remember, the sounds of soft soul. Marcus Dixon. The sounds of soft souls and hits and oldies. Yeah, Oprah. Shoot, I ain't too proud to beg. Shoot, I'll be on the OWN network. Auntie Oprah. I'll be Auntie and them. Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. I'll be on that shout with Oprah. Y'all, I'm going to reach out to Oprah and tell her, you need a documentary guy? Shoot, I can be that documentary guy, you know. Shout out to Oprah, you know. Shout out to all my Mississippi people and all of that stuff. But what I was trying to get at is that they're talking about Aaron Whitecotton could possibly be moving to the Tennessee Titans, and they're just going to insert this guy. Now, in my opinion, and I'm not beating up Aaron Whitecotton because I really think highly of the kid. I think that a lot of people are speaking glowingly of him as well. Some of the players, they really like his enthusiasm and all of this stuff. But, man, let's not stop CP for getting guys that he trusts, that he knows, right? To that point. Let's not do it like we did with the Matt Eberflus to that degree, though. Because if it is a situation that CP saying, hey, I like Marcus Dixon, well, then bring in Schottenheimer, let him cross-examine, and let him do his own independent research and see if that's something that can really rock with us. Now, the good thing about Marcus Dixon, he played for the Cowboys back in 2007 and 8 and what have you. And that could be a thing for us, you know. Everything comes into full circles. So that is something that I would not be too mad of. Now, Lasay says, God is awesome, man. He ain't lying. All right, so with that being said, there was a situation that I believe that somebody said that Matt Eberflus got a job. Now, I don't know if you were trolling or not, but, hey, shout out to Eberflus. I have no ill will against Matt Eberflus. He made $4 million to put on that display last season. And if somebody want to put on $4 million again for him to do it again, let it be the Washington. Let it be the Eagles. Let it be somebody. The Giants. Come on, Matt Eberflus. I don't mind him going to a situation as it relates to being a coach again. Just don't be a coach over here and bring that same energy and that philosophy over there. Hey, matter of fact, I heard, Matt Eberflus, that the 49ers looking for a defensive coordinator or some type of passion of those particular fashions. So won't you go over to 49ers land? I will strongly endorse you to go there, and we will be greatly saddened that you got the job at the 49ers, man. Yes, indeed. I'm quite sure we would be. You know, they were trolling, period. Yes, shout out to you, Sadiq. Y'all listen to Sadiq. And if any Eagle person is in the chat area right now, hey, shout out to y'all for being who y'all are, because y'all gave us Christian Parker, who's going to do some good things for us. I'm going to speak that into positivity. But this segment now is brought to you by Fanatic Live. I'm telling you where you can get all of your resources from as it relates to this right here of trades and giveaways, and as well as rip open packages. I've seen some things happen over there that's phenomenal. We got things as a special promo here. As you stroll around, we can start moving and grooving. And even if you are a beginner, you can check it out there too. They got live performance and stuff like that. Let me show you why I really like it. You can type in Dallas, and then you can find Cowboys materials, and then you can trade and give those things away as well. So this Fanatic Live is all good for you. All you have to do is click the link in the information in the description and check it out for your specialties that Law Nation will also provide. Mike McCarthy got a job just from Big Trill. Oh, well, hey, I'm quite sure you could probably type in Mike McCarthy over here and get things moving too on that aspect of it, for sure, for sure. Appreciate everybody, man, for tuning in and being part of these type of conversation as it relates to this Cowboys and materials around the world. I did say that I will pull up a Ronnell Williams info. Give me 1 second while I do that too, and we're going to get things moving and grooving for you all. Just bear with me while I move it along real swiftly for you guys. Fanatic Live, baby. Be sure to check us out over there. Shout out to you, Michael Hooper. Appreciate you. Shout out to you, JV boy. Put down where y'all are from too that's watching, and let me know how y'all feel about this offseason, especially as it relates to the draft coming around the corner. We got the Shrine Bowl and we got the Senior Bowl. Both of those things is pure evaluation for the nation. We still got to make sure we're doing our due diligence. But for those who are looking at what Ronnell Hill is, the Cowboys requesting to do an interview with him. He's another Eagles guy, of course. You know, that's going to have to come with the territory. Look, let's not be strange to this. There could be a situation and scenario that we also will have a few Eagle players over here wearing the silver and blue and the star on the side of the helmet. But the Cowboys are requesting to interview, or they will interview, Ronnell Williams, who's been on the team as the nickel cornerback coach as well as their linebacker coach. So anything in that deeper third or the middle of the field, what you've seen out of the Eagles thing, you may see it again. Now, he was on an Eagle content creator page of reliving some of the things that happened in the Super Bowl, and just to have his conversations around, let me tell y'all, here's what he was talking about.
What can you say to the people out here? How can you give them hope?
If you give up, you already gave up. Like, yeah, I'm sitting up here and you talking to me as like a part of a Super Bowl victory, right? But you also talking to the same coach that was a part of setting the record for the most losses with Chicago Bears in a row. Like, if you give up, like, it ain't yours. And you don't deserve it. Like, it's not, phrase from my mom. Mama always said, anything
Mama
worth
said
having, it's gonna cost you something.
Hey, man, anytime people have those mama sayings and those phrases, hey, he right. Anything worth having, it's gonna cost you.
Hey, it ain't free. It ain't no microwave. It ain't, like, that stuff is not real. And whatever you're going through, whatever you're doing, you're going to go through something. You got to figure out what works for sure, but you also got to know why what doesn't work, so that you don't try it in the wrong moment. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's the most important. And when I see people give up, good. You ain't deserve it.
That's all I needed to see, man. I don't want to play too much. My eyes hurt looking at all of this filthy greed. We're going to definitely a deep dive into that, of what he said. He gave some unbelievable storylines of what happened and on their pathway to the Super Bowl and beyond, and how they were able to excel on a few things. Somebody said Nakobe Dean. Are y'all like the same people that's saying that? Because I had like 4 or 5 messages on my Instagram saying, hey, Law, Nakobe Dean going to be a free agent, Law. What your thoughts on him? Now, I like the Georgia version of Nakobe Dean. I ain't going to hold you guys. But what I can say is that with that particular linebacker, you infuse him with Mears Learfile and Overshawn, maybe, I don't know. But if it's a situation with the 12th pick of the NFL draft, and you have Sonny Styles in the building, Style makes fights. Y'all know how it goes with me. I would rather have Sonny Styles than a Nakobe Dean at this point. Now, granted, this is one of the things that I must say, Cowboys Nation, that the Dallas Cowboys, when you start to think about these facts and factors about skill set and talent, we should be able to get a few. Dean and Blankenship is rumored to come to Dallas. This is from Mad. Shout out to you, my guy, Matt. Is that Mad Max? Is that Mad Max, man? I appreciate you, man. You've been following the channel for a long time, not a short. Sonny in Stylistics. Sonny in the Stylistics. Yeah, shoot. Hell yeah, I like that. But before we can go any further, it's 4 o'clock. It's Saturday. We snowed in. I can't drive down the street. because Texas is not built like that. Black ice is something real. So I'm going to stay my butt inside so that you guys can continue to get this information. But since I'm pretty much iced in because it's not snowing, since I'm iced in and it's not snowing, let's just do this. If you're driving around Dallas and if you fool around, hit your brakes, and you stop, but the people behind you didn't stop and they run into you, you need to call these guys.
There are times in life you wish you had a do-over. If you're in a wreck, make the smart choice right away. Frenkel and Frenkel, feared by the insurance companies. Call Frenkel first.
No doubt. Call Frenkel and Frenkel Personal Injury Lawyers, backed by a combined of 100 years of experiences. 214 in all threes or 817 in all threes. Be sure to reach out to our proud partners, Frenkel and Frenkel Personal Injury Lawyers, backed by 100 years of combined experiences. On top of that, ladies and gentlemen, if you can't dial that number, just visit FrenkelFirm.com. Now, my hotline for your mind is this beautiful number right here, 657-390-7391. Cowboys Nation, give me a call. Let me know. I got my first caller in the building from the 214. I got Darius. You're live on the Nation, man. Talk to me, man.
I was good. Can you hear me good before I start? Because I'm snowed in, too. I don't know if the telephone pole is messed up or what. Can you hear me good?
Man, you got that Verizon crystal clear. You know, you good. You clear over there, you know. 3G. Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, Verizon, run me that check. I'm giving y'all the shots out and stuff. Verizon, I'm for real now. We're going to have to edit that part out, but keep going.
So I got T-Mobile, though.
Hey, terrible T-Mobile, where? Hey, run that check. Run that check over here. But go ahead, man.
I wanted to get your opinion right quick. So, do you remember the coach Bill Cowher, the coach that used to coach the Steelers?
Yeah, the spitting coach. Yeah.
So like he was on P-Mac show with Pat McAfee, and he was just basically like, one of the things that he used to do was he used to instill a defensive system. Mm-hmm. So when they change out coaches, they would change out the coaches and not the system. Mm. So the coaches would have to come in and learn the system. And I was like, well, God damn it. Mm. So I'm in my head, I'm thinking, because I remember, I don't know if it was Foots or if it was Steele that said.
It was Steele. It was Scott.
Okay, so you already know where I'm going, though, right?
I already know. Yeah, and I love it. Keep going. Keep cooking.
Okay, so that's what I'm thinking. To me, it's like, so Christian Parker's, if he come in and he handle his business and he do what he's supposed to do, we win the Super Bowl with him, which is what I'm assuming, not just assuming, which is what I think is going to happen. Then eventually he's going to be a head coach, right? Mm-hmm. So once he leaves, that would mean we would have to get a whole new defensive coordinator, and then that would mean it would have to be more turnover, and then you have to get a whole nother defensive coordinator. Now, what I'm thinking is, because just based off of what Steele said, is like, that's probably, and people want to always talk about the continuity. I hate, like, Jerry Jones done ran that word continuity in the ground so much, it's like a 4-letter word to me. Mm. So to me, it's just kind of like, why won't we just do it that way? Have us just be honed in on one defensive system that we own, and then have the coaches come in and learn the system and implement their little intricacies to it, but you don't constantly have to have this turnover and turnaround every time you get another defensive coordinator. What's your thoughts on that?
That's got to be a above decision, like Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones decision to be able to implement that. That's more of GM qualities. I do like what Bill, what his name is? Bill, what's his name?
Cowher.
I'm calling him Cowher, but I do like that philosophy. Skywalker still did mention that that's how McVay's and as well as Shanahan worked their system, whereas it's a full-fledged system and not a change and repeat or change and try to find a new style on defense. They got people that can fit and mold their system, which I think is the right and proper way. And it's the college way, too, I believe, because colleges, you have so many coaches moving in and moving out. So I do agree, but it got to be a heads-up decision from above.
Yeah, and to me, I just kind of think that's how it probably should be. But you have pros and cons to doing it that way, and because sometimes the system may need to be changed. So you got to know for sure that system works. You know what I'm saying? And then the other thing I want to get your opinion on, it's mighty funny to me that in the playoffs, we see the likes of Marcus Lawrence, Eric Kendricks, Nahshon Wright. It's some more that I done left out that I done forgot. But I'm just watching TV. I'm just watching the playoffs, and I'm seeing a bunch of Cowboy players being major contributors on other teams. That don't strike you as a bit odd to you. That's crazy. What do you think about that?
No, talent. DeMarcus Lawrence always been talent, right? And I think Neville Gallimore. I think he's on the Rams, I believe. And there's some guys that we would dismiss and don't even look at. I think that they got my Mississippi boy Forbes on the Rams if he's not hurt. So there are some guys that we kind of look at and overlook, but I think that that's all systematic. If you go to the right system, you can blossom and shine. So there's not an element of surprise to me. Like, for example, Sean Payton, that was the one that got away from us, right? If we had a rewind button and if we were to be more hasty and moving on from Bill Parcells, knowing that Bill Parcells were going to leave, right? We would have been able to offer Sean Payton a little bit more money and say, hey, since Bill Parcells is leaving the next year, why don't you take over that system and implement it? Because all what you're seeing out of Sean Payton is Bill Parcells, basically. All what you're seeing, like all through the early parts of 2010s and now, that's all Bill Parcells fingerprints, right? So that would have been a better carryover versus deleting everything and starting it over with Wade Phillips and then Jason Garrett. Yeah. Because 13 years, believe it or not, that's been a long stay for a coach and a long philosophy and principle. And we still trying to shake off some of the Jason Garrett isms that's been here. He was here for 13 seasons. Matter of fact, a carryover is still here. Believe it or not, it's with Dak Prescott. That's a player that learned from Jason Garrett, believe it or not. So that's how far that carryover can last. It can last a long time.
Yeah, and my reason for bringing that up is because like when you even if you look at your chat sometime or if you look at I guess Cowboy fan base like to a degree, everybody's so quick to be like, oh, he ass, he trash, oh, this player can't do this, he washed up, he do this, he ain't this, he ain't that. Then you see him, he go to another team, they're in the playoffs, and now they not on the bench, they in the game starting. These are the same players that y'all said was ass, right?
Right.
It's just like, so before y'all be like, now this, I may be going on a rant, but that's something that aggravates me. You know what I'm saying? People are just so quick to just be like, somebody is trash, but like, they assessment on a player is wrong. You see them going to these different systems. So my thing is just get the right system, and then you will see these players thrive the way that they should.
Bingo, you're right. And we've seen it happen before. DeMarcus Ware, I remember, I'm old enough to remember, I just wasn't on YouTube at the time, is that people were saying that he's an injury prone, he's trash, he's not worth the money. Well, he's a Hall of Famer, and he's a Super Bowl winner. You know what I'm saying? And the things I used to bang the table on is I'm sitting here saying, we got people right here in Dallas, right, that when he was training folks post-career, why Cowboy players ain't going to him? DeMarcus Ware literally trained Aaron Donald, right? And those were things that were pissing me off with our current D-line guys. Like, hey, man, he's right down the street. Go work out with him. Evidently, he can teach you a thing or two. but it never materialized. And it's just unfortunately, bro. That's life too.
Yeah, I think it's a culture thing, man. But everything seems like it's turning around.
Right.
I applied Shotty. And I don't really know what to think about the Christian Parker thing, but he's kind of growing on me a little bit. You know,
right.
Because I wanted the Jim Leonard guy, but the Christian Parker, like, it sounded like he on this shit. You know what I'm saying? It sounds like he up and coming, man, and it sounds like he due for a head coaching job. You know, so just hopefully everything pan out and everything is looking, like it's finna go according to plan, man. It's like we finna have some schemes, some rudiments, some policies and procedure in place. I'm just
come on with it. Yeah.
I'm just happy to see how it turned out, how it go, But yeah, I appreciate you a lot, man. Stay warm out here, man. I appreciate you.
No doubt, man. Appreciate you. That's Darius, man, from the 214. When we look at everything and we say to ourselves, okay, all right, Cowboys, come on, man. Not everything the player's fault and not everything the scheme fault. But historical references we can look at, right? Like when we really comb back through some things, who was the last person that we got rid of from a coaching aspect that went on and did great things? Oh, Wade Phillips. He was the only one. And rightfully, he was the DC when it happened. I think that he was able to be on that Denver's team to ultimately lift up that Lombardi trophy. Or was he DC for the Rams team that year? I don't know, but y'all can let me know in the chat. I'm quite sure he's the guy that got a ring, though, right? Post-Cowboys, right? As a coach, positional staff. I think Jason Garrett, he went off to the Giants, and they didn't hold him long enough. They was averaging 15 to 16 points a game, bottom of the league. And I said, come on, Giants, y'all need to hold on to him for a longer period of time. But I don't know anybody else who was coaching here and left, and then they started doing successful things. And, of course, we can look at the brother down there in Tampa Bay. I forgot his name at the tip of my tongue. Yeah, he probably did some, but that's more of the trees of Bill Parcells. But it's not really many. So that means that we were holding on to some bullshit, right? I'm just saying, I'm just being real, We can talk about Kellen Moore, but that's more of like that team was a super team, and I can get my daughter and some Crayolas to call up some plays, and they probably would have won that year too. Sean Payton was the man, It was the Rams. Appreciate you, Donnie. Thank you. Or Don, thank you. So it's very slim success coaching after the Cowboys and why we held on to said coach that long. Kellen Moore, y'all saying Wade Phillips, and Sean Payton. Out of all of those guys, I think Sean Payton was the realest. You know what I'm saying? And Jason Garrett, I think Dan Quinn, that time he got rid of Dan Quinn, that one little year. Al Harris, position coach, yeah. But ain't really many, baby. I think that we held on to some coaches a little too long. And his name is Jason Garrett. And I'm not beating up Jason Garrett, but I am. I got from the 909 Donnie, you live on the Nation, brought to you by Fanatic Live. Talk to me, bro.
Hey, Law, how you doing?
Doing great, man. Warm. I'm warm. Got the waters dripping over here. Got the house set to 72, so we good.
Yeah, stay warm, Law. I'm sorry I wasn't able to talk to you to your last show.
That's good.
When you broke the news about Christian Parker being our new defensive coordinator.
Okay.
And man, you had me laughing, man, when you were talking about it'd be nice if Christian Parker and bring on Jones and the linebacker coach from Baltimore.
Yeah.
Doing the
hell yeah.
Hey, Wakanda forever.
Wakanda. Yeah. The all black squad. Everybody wearing all the black Air Forces.
I cannot stop laughing, but I'm excited about the new DC. We talked about the Cowboys. Seems like they're moving, doing things differently. they didn't rely on or fall back on this buddy system, somebody that they know or somebody that was associated with the Cowboys. No,
Right.
this was all Shoddy, man. And I applaud Shoddy. I applaud the Joneses for allowing him to pick his DC. And as you know, Law, I don't care what type of DC defensive coordinator comes in, you need players. So that's the next step, man. Your free agency is next. We're going to see how truly active the Cowboys are, not shopping from the Dollar Tree, but getting some really key, good football players, man. Football players that are better than the ones that you have currently on the roster. So I'm excited.
Right.
Like I said, it's a process that we have to go through. So free agency is next. Locking up our own. We got to keep picking, and then we get ready for the draft. But I'm excited, brother. I really am. Cowboy Nation should be really excited, and let's hope that the Jones are continuing to do things differently.
Man, that's good right there, Donnie. I got no rebuttal to your excitement, man. Let's continue to make it contagious, man. Appreciate you, bro.
All right, Law, stay warm, brother.
Will do, man. Here's what I'm gonna say with Donnie's excitement. I want it to be contagious. We shouldn't be mad or out here. Shouldn't be. No, we should be excited about this. Why, Law? Why? Why we should be excited? It's something new. We haven't done these type of things in a long time. I'm not saying that it's going to be a guaranteed success story. But here's the thing. I remember I was going off on somebody, and they're saying, hey, man, we got to understand that we got to trust the sandwiches that's being made. He made some type of analogy with the sandwich. And I said that it doesn't take you to try the sandwich when you see the ingredients. When you seen some of the ingredients going in the sandwich this past season, we knew it was going to taste bad. When they made the move to get Murray and all of this, hey, man, I hate to say it, but we kind of knew, like, hey, man, you can't make a SHIT sandwich taste good, no matter how much sugar and all of this other sweeteners you putting on it, and say, hey, man, try this side of it. No, I don't want it. Some of the moves that we were making and some of the lack of moves we were making, we were sitting there like, man, that's a sandwich, man. That sandwich is not going to taste good. You don't have to try it. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. But this sandwich right here, there's too many people saying, man, that's good ingredients right there, man. Oh, man, we surely going to hate for to lose him. And then you have other people. They are not trolling. But somebody else, they were trying to make us take this Eberflus sandwich and saying, hey, man, don't worry about those crumbs. Hey, where does hair come from? Hey, don't worry about it, man. It tastes good. Try the other side. No. What's that stuff? It look like mold, man. That's just great decor. No, we knew that sandwich was going to be terrible. All right? It don't take a rocket scientist. So that sandwich last season, I don't want it. So if I start seeing the same ingredients, CP, oh yeah, I don't give a dog if he is a first-time coach and if he is of the melanated community and beyond. I don't give a dog. I'm going to talk about his sandwich. Yeah. Yeah. Ain't that right, old Ron from the 202? You're live on the Nation, brought to you by Fanatics.
Hey, what's going on, Lon?
Not much, man. I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good.
Good. Hey, I got a question, right? So, I'm 18. I'm just learning the Dallas culture and all this stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to know, like, why do Cowboy fans, right? Why do they think we supposed to have the best at everything? Like, they think we supposed to have the Andy Reids, the Tom Brady's, the Ray Lewis, the I don't know, the Walton Payton, whatever, the Smiths, the Brady Sand. Why do they think we supposed to be having like the best team of all time. I'm just it's me frustrated because it's like some Cowboys fans, we always complain about everything. Like, I don't understand. Y'all say fire Matt Eberflus. We do that.
Right.
We get a new guy, young guy in here. Y'all don't like that. Y'all want Brian Flores and all this stuff. Like,
right.
On, bro. Like, I don't understand why. Can you please tell me why do you think, we could play so much? I know we haven't won in 30 years, but it's like, there's no way y'all complain about everything we do. We finna take
Ron, I'm definitely going to go over your thoughts and your details there, but your connection is so bad. I'm gonna answer that all fair. I'm gonna answer that all fair. I'm gonna go over it right now on why we want the best of everything.
Yeah.
Appreciate you for calling in, though.
Thank you.
Most certainly. There's no limitations to your desire when you go out and say, "Hey, we are the richest franchise. We make the most out of any franchise." So when you are the richest and you go around and you gloat and you talk about that you are the best, then the Cowboys want everything to be the best because that's what is perceived. Even when we don't have the best, the expectations still, Cowboys better win. The Cowboys must win the Super Bowl. It was like that with the Changaleys, the Dave Campos. Y'all get where I'm going, right? The expectations for us to win ultimately is still there. So there are more casual fans than there are dedicated diehard fans that understand the reality of it. And unfortunately, those casual fans, their voices collectively is 9 times louder than the real individual diehard fan that's telling y'all the truth about what we have. That 13 years, 13 seasons with Jason Garrett, we were conditioned. The only way we would have been able to win, ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, was us not out scheming the other team. That we had to rely on physical talent from the individuals in order to win. Those games that we won, there was no strategy and no system put into place for Tony Romo to carve up the opposing teams. So that's why we would sit back saying, you got to damn near have the best tackle, you have to have the best running back out of that draft, and you had to have the best wide receiver. That's my best way to explain the reason why we want the best, because we've been conditioned to say in order to win, we need to have the best in order to compete. And those things still hold true because you got a front office that's meddling, right? And then it trickles down from the front office that, as they said, as above, down below, as above, so below, right? And the fish rot from the head down is that we've been so conditioned that we, in order for us to win, we absolutely have the best. Got to have the best. Whereas there's been other teams that know that they're not finna be talked about, that know that they're not finna be sullied or denigrated from the 3-ladder nor the 4-ladder networks, that they can sit back and casually grow their particular program, knowing that it takes 2 to 3 years, and they can come out all of a sudden and win the Super Bowl. Why? Because their moves are not being talked about. Their individual players are not being talked about. Look, we haven't heard from D-Law all this season. We haven't heard press clippings and player interviews all this season. And that goes for like all of these teams. But the Cowboys, man, you're going to have Jerry Jones talking twice and 3 times a week. You're going to have Stephen Jones talking twice and 3 times a week. That's a lot of information. So some of these plans fall right on the faces, but some of these ideologies goes out and give more and more ammunition to these particular 3-ladder and 4-ladder networks. So that just unfortunately. So now the plans of the fans are saying, hey, man, in order for us to win, yes, we got to have a CeeDee Lamb times George Pickens. Yes, we got to go out there and possibly figure out a way to get a running back that can give us 1,500 yards. Yes, unfortunately. And I wish, it could be a situation that's differently, but people would never be satisfied until we lift up that Lombardi trophy again. And it doesn't matter, because that's how it's perceived to be, unfortunately, as it relates to this Cowboys Nation. I got A-Lou from the 304. Maybe he can expound upon it. But if you are a Cowboys fan, you're going to have those same levels of expectations to win the Super Bowl, because the expectations were there even when Dave Campo was here. From the 304, you're live. A-Lou, talk to me, man.
Yeah, you're right. Our expectations are high, but that's because and it depends on how old you are. For the younger cats, that's just the mindset that has been carried on from the 90s.
Right.
That's why Jerry Jones talks about it so much. That's what he still lives mentally. He still lives in the 90s.
Yeah.
Because he thinks he still can operate that way. Social media and everything else has made it so that you can't operate like that. But when you're used to, when you would think that, because we had in those 90s teams, you had Troy, you had Michael Irvin, you had Emmitt Smith, you had Eric Williams, you had Nate Allen, you had was it Tony
Yeah, Larry Allen and
Larry Allen.
Yeah.
Not Nate Allen, my fault. Larry
No,
Allen.
you good.
You had these players, right? And that's just on offense. We had Ken Norton Jr. on defense.
Right.
We had Darren Woodson. We had Dion at one point. You had all these players. Now, mind you, Charles Haley. Mind you, the problem is all of those players except for 2 were homegrown. All of those, that's why they're so big on the draft. All of those players were homegrown except for 2. And they think that they can still operate that way. So whenever when you hear them say, we sign our own players and we don't dibble and dabble in free agency, that's because that's what they think, that's what they believe they should do now, because that's what they have done.
Yeah.
When in all actuality, the game has changed. Money has changed, and the power, the importance of players has changed as well.
Yeah.
You used to be able to sit here and trade a Herschel Walker and get 6 to 10 draft picks, right? You used to be able to fleece these people who didn't know better, who couldn't see the future. You used to be able to do that. You can't do it now.
And just to echo that, we can go all the way back before I was even born, and we start talking about the Bob Lillies of the world, and we start talking about the Cliff Harrises and the Randy Whites and all of those boys, even Rayfield Wright and Chuck Howley. Every time the Cowboys absolutely did anything or did everything, we always had those household names. Think about that. So in 30 years or 30 seasons that Tom Landry was coaching here, he got 2 Super Bowls, right? And his name, So now we went through all of this time frame without even visiting an NFC championship game, right? That's long drought, longer than Shaq feet and Jay Leno's chin combined. And maybe you throw Wemby's back in there. It's been so long that these are the things that the forefathers been talking about, and none of these kids that's born in like the late 90s and early 2000s can even relate to this, right? So now they're only hearing is that the Cowboys, they need everything in order to win. But to be fair, that's how it always been.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
So now you tie that to what's going on right now, and now they think, you need a star player here, a star player here, a star player there. You need at least 3 star impact players, maybe 4.
Right.
But you need competent fillers.
Come on, man, you preaching, bro. Come on, yeah.
Borderline stars. You need competent fillers. You need players that if in that system. And this is where coaching is so important and why it's taken so long for us to get back to anywhere, because we didn't have good coaching to an extent. You need coaches that elevate your players. in your system only. You need that type of coach because those players will, in your system, look like Pro Bowlers, look like All Pros, look like future stars. But if you put them in a different system and don't allow them to play to their full potential, they look like they don't know what the hell is going on, and they look like, trash. That's why. That's why it's so important that you have competent coaches.
Facts. In realism, because out of all of those things, out of the 5 Super Bowls we won, right? None of those 5 Super Bowls on the pathway to get there relied on one person.
Correct.
You get what I'm saying? Like Roger Staubach, as great as he's like exhibits and exudes, man. Got a chance to shake the man's hand. I was like, man, I'm not gonna wash it. You know what I'm saying? But I had to go wash it though. You know what I'm saying? But when you start thinking of it, like the Tony Dorsett, Tony Hills, you talking about my guy, the original '88, and you start talking about some of the things that Dwayne Thomas, if we can throw him into the mix because he's really good. We start talking about just the identity of the early Cowboys. It wasn't one individual, right? And I've made this joke before, and I bumped into Noah Brown just last week, and I felt kind of weird. You know what I'm saying? Because he's still in Dallas. I said, man, if Drew Pearson had Noah Brown hands, the Hail Mary would never been the Hail Mary, you know? What I'm saying? Or the catch on the sidelines, being able to get his 2 feet in, right, as the security guard kicks them, None of this stuff will exist if you didn't have others to step it up in the postseason game. And what's happening here in Dallas land in the last 20 to 30 years is that we relied on one person, and you can't go through the postseason games where somebody else stood tall and made a crazy play, and you said, man, look at that defensive play. Man, look at that kickoff return. Man, look at what the type of kind of play that James Washington was able to make in the early 90s, right? We don't have those defying or identifiable moments here in the last 10 years. Hopefully, by us adding in some better coaches and scheme and system, that we can get somebody else to be able to do these type of things.
Absolutely. This is the last thing I'm going to say. I'm going to run this down for you. This is the first time. This is the first time I would say, yes, to an extent. Listen, the first time you had a coach that was able to, 1, run his own offense to an extent.
Right.
2, pick his own coaches to an extent, and be able to do what he wants to do with his team. The last coach that did that, 1 was Bill Parcells to an extent here,
right,
but Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson was the first one that he actually handpicked his team, handpicked his coaches, handpicked his defense, brought up everybody he wanted, and helped build that team. Outside of that, I would say maybe Bill Parcells, but outside of that, nobody else, because everybody had a carryover. Everybody had, Jerry said, hey, bring him because that's my friend's friends for friends' son.
Right.
like, come on, you know what I'm saying? So hopefully, the way that they're doing business, you got to knock it out with you got to knock it out 3 stars. You got to knock it out with not even 3 stars. Be a competent player in free agency. You got a DN, a linebacker, and a safety. If you get those 3 and you sign those, starters to Pro Bowlers, right? Like possible Pro Bowlers. If you sign those 3 players, moving into the draft, you can actually change this you can actually change the outlook of this team.
Right.
Just like that, in a blink of an eye.
No doubt.
So
it don't take much.
No, you saw what the Patriots did. If you pay attention to what the Patriots did, they didn't necessarily buy a championship, but they on their way.
Hey, man, if they go back again, man, they
go back again off of a new coach, allowing him to run his system, getting his coaches in, and Stephon Diggs, Caleb Chason, and I think they got like 2 more decent.
Man, look, they got a dude named Keyshawn, man. Started off rocky, man, with the gambling stuff, but he was an LSU kid. And, hey, them LSU wide receivers, I ain't going to say the man full name, but yeah, Keyshawn been doing his thing, man.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Competent players or starters to Pro Bowlers, but in your system, they look like they are damn near all pros. Caleb Von Chaser looks like he's a different player from when he was in Jacksonville, just because of the change of system. So,
you right, man. Damn, you right, boy. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, man. We'll see, man. What else you got for the show, man? Before I let you rock.
We might have this. I want to see his. I want to see CP's. I want to see his team that he gonna put together. I think that that'll determine what type of draft we'll have. If he has competent people around him, I firmly believe we can actually turn this defense around. Because if he has competent people around him, you're going to see you're going to go get Caleb Downs.
Yeah, if you move up and say, okay, let me get the best football player in the draft, and it's got to be Caleb Downs at this point. And what I'm trying to lobby for the Washington team is they don't need no Caleb Downs. Come on, man. You know they need help on protecting their skinny leg quarterback.
Yeah, for sure. So you'll see him. You know, we'll see how it shakes. But outside of that, decent football. No doubt, man. That's
my guy, Alu. And the kids that y'all hear in the background, them my kids, man. They having a good time, y'all. And I love it. I love that they are. There's no better place to be in is in the presence of their father, you know, talking football. All right, so I mentioned let me pull up Tankathon, because I think that they still have, let me see their mock draft. I love looking at different variations of mock drafts, and now we can probably get like a clear connotations of what it might look like. And if I hit mock draft right here, it got Fernando Mendoza, who's going to the Raiders. And let me just skip all the way down to let's see, Caleb Downs. They consistently putting Caleb Downs as their safety, but I'm looking at the Washington team that they need help on so many other areas, that not just safety or not just this weapon here. They need more and more help on the offensive side. Hey, come on, man. I can see Jordan Tyson going to the Giants, and you mix that in with what they got with their wide receivers. I can see Carnell Tate going to the Titans. I can see that. But, you know, I could see an offensive player going with the third pick. This draft class, I just don't think from an aspect that this draft class got a strong quarterback class, right? That cripples us. But if there's a situation, I'm going to stand firm on this. I'm not moving up to no 7th pick to go pick up a Caleb Downs. I like Caleb Downs. I like what he can bring to the table. But I'm not moving up. I'm like a tree planted by the water. I'm sitting here right at the 12th spot. At the Mansour, the lane is there. I'm rolling with it. I'm just going to go ahead and do those things. But they got Sonny Styles here falling to the 15th spot. And they got Jamad McCoy going right behind Mansour Delane. Now, I can figure out a way and make my mind say, give me Sonny Styles, hear me out. Give me Sonny Styles, and then with the 20th pick, then give me my defensive back, the youth. And maybe you can still get a Terrell kid or to a point, if you really like my guy Caleb Downs. Let me show y'all this kid right here. And I think he's going to go in the 2nd round. And let me see if I can find him. Oh, shoot, he dropped all the way to the 3rd. I may have overlooked him. Where's that Oregon kid going to go at? I think that if you look at some of his tape, he pretty good. And this guy right here, the South Carolina kid, he ain't nobody to sneeze at too. Brandon Cease, how you say this kid's name? Colton Hood, he's pretty good too. Where that guy Oregon kid went to? I may have to go to the big boy right quick. And I know he's miles away from Downs, but if with the right coaching and everything, shoot, you can probably, here you go, Dylan. Y'all look up his tape. I'm quite sure if he goes to a good system, he went with the second round pick in this mock draft with the 25th pick altogether. So I passed him up. But what I'm trying to get at, look up this kid, Dylan right here, y'all. Come back, let me know what y'all like about his skill set, and let me know whether or not you would like him on the Cowboys to any extent in any situation. But you got to look at it from this aspect. Don't paint yourself into a corner and say, man, we didn't get a chance to get this guy all to be damned. No, I'm quite sure that you can still get some solid picks even in the second and third round of these situations. I got another caller that's been waiting here patiently. DP for the 979, but when I held that 9, all I could see was my mama's eyes.
Man, it give me every time, man. Every time, man. I'm with it, man. I'm with it for real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Shoot. But man, hopefully you staying safe over there, man. On y'all end, man. I stay over here in Houston, man. The weather's getting a little bad, but I don't think it's gonna be too serious other than just some ice on the ground, stuff like that. So we hunkered down, man. These kids over here running me ragged.
That's a good thing, though. It's always a good thing, man, with the kids.
Oh yeah, man. Me and my daughter went through about 3-4 wardrobe changes already, man. So, but it's all good. But but in all seriousness, so with the addition to Christian Parker, like, do you think if Caleb Downs does somehow drop to Dallas's 12th pick, do you think it's more of a possibility now since he was the passing game coordinator for the Philly and DB specialist? Do you think that's more realistic possibility?
Now, if Downs is there, I would mortgage like a half of my little mortgage over here and say, hey, he's going to be the pick. You know what I'm saying? I'm running up to the podium and saying, and if Christian Parker don't utilize that pick and don't get that pick, then now we in a whole nother conversation. Like, what are he doing? Either ops or something, Yeah.
For real, man. Nah, I feel man. So I think it's definitely more of a realistic thing. So I wouldn't be mad at it, but also, I like the Sonny Styles and the other guy from Miami, not Ruben Bain, or I think it's Ruben Bain, but I think he's gonna be off the board by the time Dallas picks at either one. But it was the other guy from Miami. I cannot think of his name.
Mesidor.
Yes, sir.
But here's what I want to say though. That there could be a situation and scenario. Them your kids right there doing that now, right, DP? I didn't know which way it was coming from. I was like, we got the same kids.
I was saying the same thing. I was like, I know that ain't my kids. Like, wait a minute.
We got the same kids. I ain't gonna even lie to you. Mine do the same thing. And I'm like, I'm trying to pick up like which one's going on. Are these mine or yours?
But you know what's so bad? What's so bad about law is that not bad, but like my kids are mixed. My kids are mixed, so they can speak English and Spanish. So my daughter, she go around here telling me stuff. She always asks me different colors, talk about Azul and Rojo and Verde. Verde. That's all. That's green, blue, and red. I'm like, good grief, girl.
Good grief. So she bilingual over there, Yeah.
I'm trying to tell you, man. Shoot, but I didn't want you to lose.
No. You good. I love that because I know there's gonna be a Cowboys family and they gonna know my voice when they get older. I'm like, yeah, I remember that dude.
Shoot, my son already knows your voice. He asked me something. You talking to Mr. Law Nation? I'm like, yes, that's who I'm talking to.
Yes, indeed. But what I'm saying is that this is what's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. I don't think that this draft, that Fernando Mendoza is going to be the only quarterback that's going to be drafted before the 12th pick. There's going to be somebody that's going to go to the combine, and they're going to be one of those guys, just like the guy with the alien guy. There's going to be one of them guys talking about, hey, I know it may sound crazy, but I know a guy that's going to throw the football for 80 yards in Indian style, and he's going to get overdrafted. It happened all the time. So I'm good. Yep. I'm just ready for the combine. That's all I need. Yeah. That's all I need because there's somebody.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get some good defensive players. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, man. I absolutely think we are too. And, hopefully I know I got one last question.
Go ahead.
You can by all means drop me down so I'm not hard with the mic. So there was supposedly someone was saying, I don't want to put the person out there like that because I don't want to make it seem like I'm trying to be messy, but is there any truth to the fact that that Jerry wanted Brian Flores?
Jerry wanted Brian Flores?
Yeah. That's what the said person was saying. It was one like somebody was content creator, like, and I was like, I don't believe that. I didn't hear anything about that. Like that, it's talking. There were multiple reports of Jerry wanted Brian Flores, but Shotty wanted Parker, I guess, or something like that. I don't know, man.
That don't even sound like accurate because there are reports that Jerry felt uncomfortable in looking at Brian Flores. You know what I'm saying? So that could be a situation there. But far as Jerry wanting somebody and they refuse to even bring him in for an interview, that's kind of strange. That's kind of strange.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, man. I don't believe that either, man. But hey, man, I appreciate it again as always. You give me a chance to speak about, man. You take it, stay safe out there, my brother.
Yes, indeed. You too, man. As they say, a little raza. You know what I'm saying? They probably know what I'm saying. Mucho elegante, La Nation.
They don't understand everything. They gonna understand.
Hey, you better start learning them different languages too. You better start, bro. You right there in the house.
Hey, man, I know a little bit. I know what's it? Arroz con pollo, chicken and rice, man.
Oh, chicken and rice. Yeah, let them have their native tongue of the chicken. Come on, man. Appreciate you, bro.
Yes, sir.
Yes, indeed. DP, man. Yeah, no children were harmed during this conversation. We just having a conversation, and if I offended anyone, charge it to my what you call that? Hooked on phonics versions of the quote unquote language almanac, trying to learn something, whatever. Viva la nachos. You know where I get that from? One of my favorite movies is Blue Streak, Martin Lawrence. And he was like, when it was time for him to go, he was like, see, I'm a federale. I'm a federale. And they were trying to, was it Blue Streak? Yeah, it was Blue Streak. And he finally got that damn diamond that he was looking for, and they was looking to arrest him, and he was like, "Shoot, I just got to get to Mexico," and he flew around to Mexico, and he was like, "For the red, the green, and the white. A little raza," you know what I'm saying? Oh, go give me a taco, shout out to him, man. Yeah. And excuse me, I forgot all of the Mexican color flags, but shout out to the Mexican, all the Mexican people. Was it? Yeah, Blue Streak. Very funny movie, man. Matter of fact, when I'm finished this live stream, I'm going to watch Blue Streak again. I'm going to go watch Blue Streak because there was David Chappelle in that movie before he became Dave Chappelle. And believe it or not, that's the reason why I got this. Good. That's where the guts went black. Just drop. That's where the guts went black. They drop him. Yeah. What's his name? Miles? He said, put your hands on the noodles. Put your hands on the oodles and noodles. And he was like, okay. Chicken or beef? He said, put your hands on the oodles and noodles. Oh my gosh, man. I hope I'm not the only. I hope I'm not doing one of the moments that I'm the only one laughing. Yeah. Some people don't know that movie and they seem like, what is Law talking about? You know. All right. I got from the 209, man. You're live on the Nation, man. Talk to me.
Hey, what's up, Law? How you doing?
No, man, all is well, man. What you got for me today?
I was wondering, well, in the first round, if we were to move back 3 spots, what do you think we would get if we can guarantee to get Styles? And then, you know, keep that later first round, pick up Cassius Howell. You think we can get maybe a third?
I think that
impossible.
I think that here's my philosophy on trading back when tags are touching. Like if the tags are touching and you know for sure you still can get the kind of caliber of player that you want. And if you want to slide back 3 spots, as long as the team that's sliding up won't shank you with the butter knife, right, to move up to get the guy that you ultimately want, then you do that. You play that little risk game because that's how we got to a point. That's how we got Michael Parsons to a point, right? Like we kind of stayed still and did something like that. I forgot, but we did something like that. But go ahead.
I would go do that and go after Pons and David Igbinosun.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. I'll go after them too, and I like Louisiana's safety Halsey. I don't know what round he's gonna fall in, but if we can come out of the draft getting a good caliber safety, if we can move back in the first, maybe just 3 spots, I think we'll be cooking with something because right now, like I called you before and I was talking about Matt, we got rid of that issue.
Right.
You know, we ain't going to have issues up the middle, I don't think, anymore with the defensive line we got. And the way my mind works, I'm looking at who are they looking at? Dixon and Williams with Christian Parker. I don't know who our secondary coach is, but you can kind of figure out the way our defense is going to be working because I've been keeping an eye on defensive coordinators since the beginning of the season. I knew he wasn't it. And I watched Christian on the sidelines, and whatever you see in practice, you're going to see intensify actually in the game.
Yeah.
And the players, the way they react to him, oh yeah, we got something going, but like I said, I don't know who's going to be the secondary coach.
Yeah, that's the thing that we got to wait for, is that like I know Christian Parker, we know we're gonna have the educations of the room, right? So we do know that Malik Hooker's still here, Donovan Wilson is still here, Wanye is still here. Who else in the safety room? I want to say Elijah.
Yeah.
Elijah Clark, Wanye Thomas, Donovan Wilson, Malik Hooker.
Wilson got to go.
Wilson may got to go. Hooker, it's one of those things that now you're going to say to yourself, do you want to just throw away everything and no carryover from this last season? Right, far as the veteran guys is in this team or on this team, or do you trust Christian Parker enough in the free agency to bring that veteran guy into the building?
I'm ready to move on with Wilson and Murray.
Wilson and Murray, okay. Bell is in the building too, so.
Bell, yeah, I would say because you got Childress. Work with Childress, so. And also, I think personally, with his experience at safety in high school, Ravel should be worked into as safety to play as a similar position as what Wilson was playing. Because he does have the body for it.
Yeah.
You know? And that would be my opinion I think we should rock with our secondary that we have and the linebackers that we have outside of that. I don't know about, what's his name? He came with Matt, but he hasn't been playing. I don't really remember.
You talking about Sanborn?
Sanborn.
Yeah, he gone. He's a goner. Yeah.
He gone. I think we ought to keep Wilson, though.
Hell yeah.
And bring in, like I said, Styles, because that's what I was looking for, is a linebacker that was cerebral and who's going to communicate before the snap and after the snap. He reminds me a lot about Ray Lewis, and just the way his build is small, like Ray Lewis was too. Yeah. He's actually a little bit larger than Ray Lewis was coming out of college.
But yeah, he's long. He's like a 6'4", look like a avatar there. Some tapes got him 6'5", so we'll know his true measurables when he get into the combine.
If he's anything like his dad, he'll fill out.
Yeah, he'll fill out.
Yeah. He'll fill out, and I think we'll be good there. But I think we do need to come out of the draft maybe with getting not necessarily a defensive end that's a pass rusher, but one that will shore up the edge on the run, and just pick up Howell, and then kind of work around on free agency, undrafted players later in the draft. Because I did want to get your opinion, though, on those two cornerbacks I mentioned, because I think we don't need, like a lot of callers are saying, these star players. You know, you just got to look at who does their job well.
Facts.
And you don't, in all teams, you don't see a nose tackle, a defensive tackle, really being a star player. Right. But they're getting their job. They're the ones that control the defense. If they ain't shoring up the middle, the defense is weak. And I personally think that Matt and other coaches were convincing Jerry that the only thing we need is this, like, outside. One of my partners texting right now. Nigga, you on that channel?
They like, dog, man, what you saying, man? You know, yeah.
But they're convincing Jerry that we need just outside help. You know, we don't. That's not how a defensive works. So when we got Dan Quinn, it was the same thing. I'm like, yeah, but Dan Quinn's a good defensive coordinator, but his defense ain't gonna work if we ain't got that nose tackle. You know, that's just the way I looked at it. So I'm like, okay, we'll see what happens.
And we do have the framework, man, with Quinn Williams, and then Clark. They trying to work to get him back. So you got the framework with those pieces, and then you can add in to whatever.
Right.
Marcus Dixon, if he is hired within the next week or so, or what you're going to do with Osa, right? And then we got to look at the ties, like who's on the Minnesota Vikings team, who's on the if you get this Ronnell Williams, who's on the linebacker spot from the Eagles that's a free agent, right? So that's how I look at it too. Like some of these positioning coaches. Just like I made this,
possible draft capital too.
That part,
Osa, Turpin, and Steele. And they'll give you draft capital for this year.
Facts.
And we can also address those positions. And the way I look at Turpin, I mean, he's kind of like Micah Parsons, a one-trick pony, and you know that's just what it is. I seen the way the draft was going. And the way we were going with the team and the culture, if you got a player who doesn't want to get in the room and study film with the rest of the players, he thinks he can just go out and do whatever he do, and he can't really control the edge for the run. He's always getting washed out, and that was our main issue. You got to take that player that gives you so much capital and just trade him.
Hell
you know? And he kind of did it to himself anyway.
No doubt, man. Yeah.
So, with all that being said, you know, that's why I'm just like, I really think we're going in the right direction, but we do have to figure out who we're actually getting in our secondary and look at the combine and so on, and see how that all pans out. But we weren't keeping up with teams like Philly. What was it? Philly, San Francisco, and Los Angeles.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of times, historically, those are teams we got to get through.
Most certainly,
if
man.
people pay attention to the way we play Arizona, look, if we ever play Arizona, I don't care how good we're doing. Arizona can be the wackest team in the NFL. For some reason, they got our number. But if we play good and well against Arizona, there's a good chance that we're going to get to the playoffs. And if we get to the NFC Championship, we win majority of the time.
Man, I appreciate you so much, man. Thank you for calling in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's something else we going to have to change, y'all. You know, we got to change that. We going to have to change that. I feel what he's saying. You know, great call by the caller there, by the way. I'm holding on to my veteran guys until I draft some guys and seeing if these drafted guys can outperform my veteran guys. But I'm not finna go into a clean sheet of paper. That means that that's going to take a whole another year before you can get your establishment. You're going to have some veteran guys. These guys that we're talking about in this draft class, they never played 17 to 18 weeks. They never been on the road here and there, and they never played up against NFL bodies. Yeah, and there's a thing called rookie wall that you can hit, so you're going to have to keep some of your veteran guys. One of the biggest things that we kind of ran into this past season is going into this past season without a DeMarcus Lawrence. His veteran leadership on the field was very much so impacted, as well as Jordan Lewis' veteran leadership was impacted, because you had a guy that was saying, hey, I'm going to be a leader, but his financials wasn't together. And that was Micah Parsons. Even though his intentions were great far as, hey, I'm going to try to do X, Y, and Z things, his leadership transition was terrible. So we didn't have that leader, according to information. We didn't have that leader that was in the locker room, but we had a lot of talking of saying that, hey, we're going to be the leader. And I'm not shooting anything at Parsons, by the way, nor Trayvon Diggs. But they didn't ascend themselves in the room to make that space where people can really gravitate to them. So our leaders in the defensive room was overshown. How can you lead by being on the sideline, being on the crutches, right? It was hard for him to really adapt to that leadership role. But now, a healthy offseason and going into this season, his leadership impact as far as his voice will be heard, as well as also he was the other leader that was in this particular locker room from information that I know, right? Those were your only two leaders. Now, as far as your DB leader, it was a piece of Malik Hooker, but he's not a very outspoken guy. He's to himself, but they really respect what he said. So if it's time to be at home at 9 o'clock and Hooker call, hey, you're going to be your butt at home at 9. So those are things that you got to have on his team. And if you get rid of that, now you're going to have to scramble and scrape and hope that Christian Parker had the wherewithal to bring in some of that veteran leadership back into the building. Unfortunately, these are things that have to be told, but these are things that also you have to find during the offseason when you're talking about terraforming a defense, right? So what was the other point that I want to pull out of that conversation? Yes, positioning coaches. They have some influences on the free agent players. They have some influences on guys with 1 year left on their contract. Just like I said with Al Harris, with Nahshon Wright, there could be many things that can happen miniature like that with this Christian Parker, who was a positioning coach. There are some players that say, hey, wherever he go, I will follow, as well as whoever is going to be the D-line guy. They will follow and find out where he's going to be at, and they will follow. The same as to be said with linebackers. That's how you got to get things going. Now I got the next caller. I got 771, and then I got Tuku from the 210. But 771, you're live on the Nation. Talk to me.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Man, doing great, man. What you got for me today?
First time on your show, kind of came across your stream, man. So just wanted to jump on, man. Like what you talking about and everything.
Appreciate you, man.
I'm happy about the process though, and everything we did, man. As far as doing our homework, and then you can kind of tell that the way we've been moving is entirely different from what we've been doing in years past. Maybe even like the last 2 to 3 years. So. If you look at that, you know, Shotty is putting his imprint on the team 100%, which I'm very happy about, because the success we had our successes and we had our losses this year as far as the Cowboys concerned, as far as the offense and, you know, the defense. And some of it is, you know, we just had players that was hurt.
Right.
And trying to come back from injuries and stuff. And sometimes it take a little longer, and you need to have a unit together, playing together, to kind of get those defenses down. I didn't like the coordinator bringing in a coach that was a lame duck coach where he was at. Then you bring him in, and yeah, he had success and things like that. But if you need a defense to get going, you can't bring somebody in and have a difficult scheme to try to run. And you got young folks and players injured coming back. I just think it just was a bad mix all the way around.
Right.
And Jerry did some good things too. Jerry brought in, you know, I mean, it wasn't just the players.
Yeah, it wasn't all bad. It wasn't all bad. It's just we ran into a bad situation too. You know, we did.
So. I mean, looking at everything, glass half full and everything, I think it looks up as far as where we going and having picks and trading Micah. I was on board with the Micah trade myself, because I just felt like even with him there, and even Dan Quinn, if we want to be real, you know, honest, you know, about where we was at, Dan Quinn was the coach of them games when we was getting blowed out by some of them teams that we supposed to have been trying to figure out, do we even match up with them or not? So, you know, I just think that the direction we're going in is a good direction, man, for Cowboy fans, that if you want to be realistic about the team and everything. And I just want your perspective on how you look at things too, man, because I hear you talking and I like what you're saying. It seems like you do your homework and stuff too. And I just think we got a good chance with these picks and stuff, man. And if we can dump a lot of the players that just haven't been living up to their contract, man, we'll have money to really be aggressive. I just want Jerry to be aggressive and allow Shotty and Christian coming in, man. You know, he never called the defense. Let's set him up the right way, man. Let's not, you know, half-ass it or whatever, and not invest in what he need to be successful, man. That's what I want to see. So that's all I had to say. I like your platform, man. I really appreciate you allowing folks to come on and talk about, you know, a team we love. You know, just want to see the team we love do a little better, man, and come into the future, man. Like, don't be, you know, doing many things, man, that are old, and allow somebody to take these chances, man, with these coordinators. It seems like Buddy know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
He knows games, you know, player, you know, personnel, weakness and things. And if you can recite those things, man, I'm hearing a lot of good things about him across the board. You know what I'm saying? So, feel good about that, man. But thank you for letting me come on and talk on your platform, man, and wish you much success as well.
Man, appreciate it. From the 771. Great call from him, by the way. Yes, I think that we are a year behind. We wasted 2024. Hear me out. Hear me out. And I know we just came off of 2025, which was necessary. By us going into that 2024 season with Mike McCarthy in that lame duck season, because the Cowboys didn't have the gonads enough to just cut the guy that's going to be the head coach for the Steelers, by the way. So they played around with their food. He went into a lame duck season. The Dak Prescott situation, do you pay him, do you don't? And you end up paying him at the last hour $60 million. You were pulling to go get a Mike Zim. And that the way we handled that situation is spilled over from one defense to the next in 2025, right? So now we are going to 2 years removed, and we got a big voided year in 2024 that wrecked us. And now we got to play recovery game. if the Cowboys really had a plan in mind, in 2024 should have been Schottenheimer's first year, and 2025 should have been he going into his second season or something. But we can't put the toothpaste back into the tube, right? Now we got the year out the way with Schottenheimer. We got a somewhat ideal of what he's going to be, right? I do like some of the things that he said, and I did look at some of the things that he did move with, and we're sitting there like, hey, if you're going to have their strong suit, let it be across the board, because I know that the Jones is going to have their hands in the mix. They're going to talk a lot. You're going to have to navigate those waters. The good thing about Schottenheimer is that at least his first year starting off, he was better than what we've seen out of Jimmy Johnson to a degree, right? Keep this in mind. This season, this past season, we were 1 or 2 games out of not going of going to the postseason. If you win 1 or 2 games, you in the freaking postseason. And as bad as this past season was on the defensive side of the coin and the small things that we need to correct on the offense, it can literally, and I'm not giving y'all no Kool-Aid, y'all can still bash this team all offseason. But I want y'all to be excited to a point, because at least there's no way that you can say, last year they did it this way. Last year before that they did it this way. There's no way that you can pull up 15 to 20 years that they did it this way. So that's why at least we got to have some sort of some type of an excitement, because this is something new. Now, I get the...
Well, what I'm saying is that there are known knowns and that there are known unknowns, but there's also unknown unknowns, things we don't know that we don't know.
And I get that. I get all what y'all are saying with that, by the way. But what I'm ultimately is trying to say is that on this side, at least we know education is going to be a thing. We know transparency as it relates to other people are coming out saying that this is what CP is able and eligible to do, right? And there's a modern day picture that we can all go back to, and you don't have to go back far. And as much as we can, the damn Eagles, and I can't stand them, and y'all know how I feel about the Eagles, as much as we can't stand them, we can at least say to ourselves and go back and look at this kid, that this kid was able to put a cigar in his hand and some champagne and say they lifted up a Lombardi trophy. We can't do that. We can't do that. You know what I'm saying? We definitely can't do that. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. Yeah, look at the picture. So it is possible, man, that we can have this created moment as the DC flexing over here on the defensive side with a cigar and some champagne in your hand. You know what I'm saying? All I'm saying is I'm not saying that this will happen, but as long as you can just take some of the good things, man, in fact, all of the good things that they was able to do there, and just copy and paste it. The NFL is a copycat league, and that's what we're doing. All right? Let me get my guy Too Cool from the 210. You in. Talk to me.
Hey, what up, brother?
Not much, man.
Hey, Lo. So I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to defensive end, do you think we overreacting?
As far as the people on our team now, as far as the skill set and these sorts?
No. As far as we need to go into the draft and we need a defensive end.
Oh, needing a defensive end in the draft?
Yeah.
I mean, you can correct that real quickly with Max Crosby or Trey Hendrickson. But I don't think that everybody is kind of like sold on the edge rushers like it's Jadeveon Clowney. That moves the needle only slightly, but look at the age. Him and CP the same age.
So when you got a great defensive end, a great defensive end helps the secondary, correct? One that can get to the quarterback.
That they are married to a degree, you know, if we start to really think about that, you know. They are married to a degree.
So if I told all the Cowboy fans, since 2016, every single draft, since 2016, the Cowboys at the defensive end, you would think I'm freaking crazy, but it's true. Since 2016, the Cowboys have taken the defensive end in every single draft. either from the first round to the third round. Where are they now?
I mean, shoot, one finna play in the NFC Championship game, D-Law.
But D-Law only had 24 solo.
Oh, no, that before 2016. He was drafted in 2014, right? So yeah, it's 2 years off. Yeah.
But still, though. But my point though is this: I knew you were going to bring Lawrence up. So Lawrence got 24 solo tackles this year with 6 sacks.
Mm-hmm.
Dominic Azaraku got 20 single sacks and 2 sacks. To me, that's not a big difference. That's not a big difference when you rotate defensive ends like that, right?
Yeah.
And Lawrence and then Donovan Azaraku, this is rookie year, right?
Hold. What I'm not going to do is to say that Donovan Azaraku impact is equivalent to what D-Law was able to do for the Seattle Seahawks, because he's in a rotational piece. What makes the Seahawks good are they interior play. They got that Jordan Reed guy. They got those guys, the big boy from DeSoto. I forgot his name at the tip of my tongue. It's always at the tip of my tongue. They got that guy here and from DeSoto there. They got some pieces, you know what I'm saying, on that team. Boye, Mafa, and all of those boys. Yeah.
Yeah. We see everybody get stuck on the defensive line. When you look at the Seattle Seahawks secondary, their entire unit as a whole is probably top 5 in the NFL, right? The secondary is top 5 in the NFL, right? When you look at the Cowboys secondary, that motherfucker is bottom 2 in the National Football League. So that's why I tell people, we get stuck on defensive end, but there is nobody on the Dallas Cowboys outside of the young cat that we got in the 3rd round last year that I'm wasting my time on. Everybody else, Bland included, I'm not wasting my time on none of them. My point is this: you have to go in this draft. You have to go take a surefire number 1 selection. I'm moving up and I'm going to get Caleb down only because I'd rather know I'm going to get the surest thing in the draft than to sit here and hold pick 12, just draft the best player available, and then at 20 draft the best player available, and both of them frail out. And we 2 years later we'll be looking back like where they at. Move up in the draft and go get a quarterback on the defense when we can do that. If we know right now we can move up into the top 10 and take a downs, I'm doing that.
Oh, so all right. So let me look at this tankathon list again, because I really do respect your opinion on this, because you've been saying that. Now here's the one thing that I'm kind of upset with you a little bit though, bro. Because before all of this, you was higher on Sonny Styles than Caleb Downs. Because I remember you the very first person talking to me about Sonny Styles.
So I'm still high on Sonny Styles, right? Don't get it twisted now.
Oh, okay. Because I haven't heard nothing about Downs when you were telling me about Styles. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying though. If we stay at 12 and Sonny Styles there, you go get him. But like I say, if I'm at 12 and I can move up into the top 10, I'm taking the surest thing in the draft. The best player in this NFL draft, I don't give a fuck what nobody say.
Right.
The best player in this draft is Caleb Downs, hands down. Caleb Downs is better than DeWarren James when he was at Florida State University. He's better than Jamal Adams when he was at LSU. He's better than what's your boy name? Carl Hamilton at Indiana. And if anybody think I'm lying, go do your research and go look all that up. The boy had 107 tackles as a true freshman for Alabama under Nick Saban.
What you willing to give up?
No, I trade 12 this year and next year first round I'll pick them up in top 10 if I could.
Who you dancing with? You got. Hold on, let me give you this list. You got the Raiders, Jets, Cardinals, Titans. You got the Giants, Cleveland. You got Washington. Who you dancing with? Maybe Saints owe us a favor. Kellen Moore, he owes us a favor. Maybe you can get on the phone with Kellen Moore at 8, right? But they got Caleb Downs going for sure at 7 to the Washington team. Do you think Dan Quinn pick up that phone for you?
No, I'm calling the Giants because I think the Giants take Caleb down at 4.
They at 5. Okay, so the Giants
I think the Giants. I don't think he get past the Giants.
Caleb Downs not getting past the Giants. Why would the Giants help the Cowboys out in that particular fashion?
Man, because they still need help on the offensive side. I know for a fact it'll be 3 receivers left in that first round at the 12th pick for them. They need receiver help. But if you can pass, if it looked like Cardell Tate gonna slide in the draft, the Giants can move back because the Giants projected to get Cardell Tate, them and Cleveland Browns anyway.
They got the Titans going with Cardell Tate, and then they got Jordan Tyson going to the damn Giants. So this will be the second time. If the Giants pass up on another, because remember, they passed up on Parsons and all of them boys to go slide back to go get a Kadarius Toney. I don't think the Giants going to be drafting that crazy again. You know what I'm saying?
I get you, but what I tell people though is this:
on a short thing, how you feeling about Caleb Downs? There's somebody in the Giants room right now listening to this podcast probably and saying, Dad, we got to go get this Caleb Downs because this dude too cool. I mean, he's saying that this is the can't hit miss on this damn defensive player. Let's go get Caleb Downs before the Cowboys do. Y'all seen what happened the last time the Cowboys drafted somebody that we should have drafted?
Yeah, I just think, I think this man is generational. I think he's the best player in the draft. I think that he's the one player in the draft that when you go back to 2 years ago, when you go back to last year's mock board, I think Caleb Downs, I know Caleb Downs is the only player that remained in the top 5 for the past 3 years when it comes to mock boards. He's the only player in the draft. I ain't talking about he had a good year this year. He had a good year last year. He's the only player in the draft that has held strong and firm on doing everything he was supposed to do at the collegiate level to get into the top 5 rounds of the NFL draft. Like I said, Arvell Reese, Ohio State is my team. Arvell Reese was never projected to go in the first 5 rounds of the NFL draft last year. He was never projected that. Sonny Styles was never projected to go in the first 5 rounds. They had great years this year. Bain had a good year. But when it comes to productivity, I'm taking Caleb down because I see the film. I know every single thing that I'm getting when I look at this cat. This cat returned punts for touchdowns. If you look, the 2 times he had returns, he returned both of them for a touchdown. The boy got 6 interceptions. The Joker got 265 tackles in 3 years in college, better than any safety that ever came out of the NFL when it comes to tackling. The man is sure. I'm telling you, Law, we're gonna miss if we don't move up. We're going to regret this and not putting him with Parker. But I got a feeling that Schottenheimer is going to have he's going to get his say-so, and he's going to move up in the draft and get Sonny Styles. I mean, not Sonny Styles, but Downs.
Okay. All right. Well, we that's why I love the draft, man. I love it, man. I can't wait to see how that all works out. And knowing our luck, maybe we get a Caleb Downs. Go ahead. Real quick, though, this is why I say you can't babysit picks. In 2024, we took Tyler Guyton, Marshawn Kneeland, Cooper Beebe, Morris Littlefield in the 3rd round, right? Well, look where we were drafting that, though. Look where we were drafting
we drafted them. But we drafted in 2023, we took Mozzie Smith, Luke Shoemaker, and the Mario Overshawn.
Right.
I could make an argument right now that you could have packaged the first, second, and third from all 3 of those 2 years right there and moved up in the draft and got somebody. Now, when you look back at those 2 draft classes that we just sat on picks and we was like, hey, we're gonna take the best player available. We need this, we need that. We flamed out on 2 draft classes right now, and we had 6 picks that we flamed out on.
Yeah, I mean, hindsight is 20/20, man. I get that game though too, man. I get where you going, bro. I get where you going. But right now, we kind of effed it up enough that we are right where we supposed to be at the 12th spot, so we don't really necessarily have to move up, but we can move up if you want to. But
I'm not taking.
But whatever I know, but historically speaking, when the Cowboys do pick around this little area right here, we pick us a good dog. We haven't busted, and I'm gonna knock on some wood, outside of Mo Claiborne when we moved up at this particular juncture. You get what I'm saying? But I get what you're saying. I like Caleb Downs. I love his tape. I do. But that's why coaching should be a situation where it can alleviate some of those things. And I know you can't find another Caleb Downs in the 2nd or the 3rd round, but at least in this draft, this is a DB-heavy draft. And I know that he's a safety, and he's the best safety. and the next one falls off the cliff. The kid from Oregon, I do like his tape, and he's not a Caleb Downs, but he's the next best thing. But we never know, man, how this draft can work out, bro. It's just the nature of football. Go ahead.
So everybody keep talking about the cat from LSU. They talk
Hockley,
about the cat from
AJ.
No.
He ain't nobody to sneeze at too. I like his tape.
No. They talk about the defensive, the DB, the cornerback from LSU.
Mansour Delane.
They talk about him. They're talking about McCoy from Tennessee, right? And then the other DB, the other cornerback they're talking about is the boy from South Carolina. Man, go look at them boys' tape. Go look at the receivers that they playing against at the collegiate level. Man, the SEC not throwing that ball like that. The SEC don't got dogs at receiver right now like that. Cam is the only dude that probably you could say is like that is Cam right now. But he wasn't like that at Auburn this year. Auburn didn't produce on the field. When it comes to football, sometimes you don't have a surefire tape. I don't like those DBs because I don't like the teams and the offensive game plans and schemes they played against. So I don't really see.
But pound for pound, if I pick up D'Angelo Pounds and I put him on the damn Ohio State, do you think that he's going to get more pub? Do you think that he's going to get drafted a whole lot higher if you pick up Pounds? Have you seen D'Angelo? I'm not saying that D'Angelo is anywhere near Caleb Downs, but I'm just talking about from a framework of a defensive back. Do you think that he would get more recognition?
No.
Oh, well. Hey, I'm just saying. I've seen D'Angelo Pounds, man, and that Brandon Sis, Colton Hood, those some good DBs, bro. He's got some good DBs. I'm not saying that they of the kind of caliber of Caleb Downs, by the way, but there's a small school guy. I want you to look him up, Emmanuel McNeil Warren from Toledo, and I know. I tell you, this kid is good too.
My point is this. My point is you can go into the free agency.
Right.
You can go into the free agency. You correct. I believe strong-heartedly you have to correct your DBs, your cornerbacks specifically in free agency. You can go get a Tariq Woolen. You can go get a Jamal Dean. Right. You can put them on the outside. You can fix your defense. You can start patching the holes in the defense. But in the middle of that defense, at the top of the defense, when you playing that too high, like old boy Parker want to play that too high safety, man, you got to go get Caleb Down, man, because that boy can play free safety, strong safety, linebacker. He can play nickel. This is a chess piece. You have the opportunity to get a chess piece. And if anybody think I'm playing, go watch this man tape. The man played punt return, linebacker, safety. He played nickel. He can cover the tight end. You got to go get that man. And the only way I will go get him, though, is if you telling me in free agency, you go get some cornerbacks in free agency. Tariq Woolen ain't nothing to sneeze at, man. That's a lanky kid when it comes to
and then he's a Texas native too, so it could be the guy, man, that we can scoop up in the free agency. But we'll see, man. But appreciate you, man. Thank you for calling in, bro.
No problem. I'll keep doing what you do.
No doubt, man. And Pons, not Pounds, my bad, but D'Angelo Pons. I was thinking pound for pound because he's only 5'9", maybe 180 pounds, give or take. But Pons is the guy. We got a super chat forever runway fashion. Appreciate you from the 448. It says all we got to do is load up the linebackers a little bit, right, and the rest in the secondary, and we are good to go. Here we go. Here's what I want to say too. Is that our team was so damn bad on defense last season that there's a lot of things that we don't even know. Like the misevaluation of Mears Live foul. I get it, the Kalen Carson's thing. The Siobhan Revel, we shouldn't have seen him at all last season, right, to a degree. And then Trayvon Diggs, will he play, will he not play? Do he got knees? Do he don't have knees? And all of this stuff. You seen him play one snap for the Green Bay Packers, and they said, we don't want him anymore, And they got to eat all of that money and all of that stuff for what they got to do. It's hard to evaluate this secondary in general because we played so piss poor. I do know, even with Donovan Wilson, Dono, when he played the year before, he had 5 sacks. We raving about Jadeveon Clowney having 8 sacks, right? You get what I'm saying? So there's been a miscommunications of what this defense really going to look like. So we got to just take the last 2 seasons. Unfortunately, I know that there's a lot of snaps and a lot of tape. We got to take those last 2 seasons, take it, ball it up, and throw it away, because there's no evaluation that you can lean on and say this is what it's going to be. There's none. There's no evaluation that you can sit back with a straight face and say, yes, this defensive player really moved the room. Overshawn was overly hurt, right? Recovery, right? There's only small Costco sample size that if we were real with ourselves that we can lean on and say, with the evaluation of our defense, this is what we're going to look like for the 2026. It could be a positive for it because we can hit teams in the element of surprise in the mouth and saying, okay, this is what we bring to the table now. Like my guy, Ice Cold Cowboy 7 says, can't go anywhere but up. I just don't see this team allowing 511 points a season. I don't foresee this team on a consistent basis with a full off season. Matter of fact, I'm so confident and I'm so angry a little bit that, damn, give me the opportunity to coach this defense up, and we won't give up 511 points. Give me the opportunity to coach this team. I'm about a decade older than the damn coach right now. You know what I'm saying? Give me the opportunity, and I can improve this team from what we seen last season. Guys, I get it. We were spanked dead last and some dog boo-boo. Our team was so terrible on defense. If you were to pick up a time machine and get the same player that we got, the Caleb Downs that my guy is talking about now, and you put him on this team, can you imagine Caleb Downs playing on this team from last season? Even he would have been misevaluated. They would have been like, you know what? He's 6 foot. He keep getting thrown on. He's still getting caught. You know, they're not playing him close to the LOS. They're not playing him with any creativity. So I'm quite sure CP is going to get this team looking a whole lot better. Jeez. Yeah. Ain't that right, Given? Ain't that right, Ice Cold Cowboy David that's in the chat? You can put us as the damn coordinator. From the 469, you're live on the Nation, man. What's good?
Hey, good afternoon, Law Nation. Hey, and everybody out there in Alaska 2.0, be safe out there, be warm, especially with your loved ones. You know, it's a hell of a storm out here in the South, man. Mm-hmm. But hey, real quick, my points, man, and I'll let you be, man. So real quick, if y'all think about it, when y'all think about Jerry Jones coming up to the mic and coming up, well, y'all know Shoddy was part of these defensive coaching shirts, right? Shoddy looked at the camera like, what the hell is this you guys talking about right here? Yeah. What are you talking about, right? Yeah. What the hell? You know what I'm saying? What the hell? What can you do when that's your boss? Right. But I will say this. My conspiracy theory is, get your hat on. Jerry Jones out here was, well, we got this Jonathan Gannon guy right here, head coach before, coach the defense up. I see good potential right there. I shot it was, all right, hold the phone, Gary. You fooled me once with this hire, the Eaglefoods, but you ain't gonna fool me with this one. Mm-hmm. I got you one better. How about this guy Christian Parker? Who in tarnations is that? Yeah. Well, let me tell you, Jerry. He runs to the facts, and Jerry's out here like, well, shit, I'm only getting older. And I'm trying to get to that glory hole, and Lord and behold, I think Shoddy won that room over, and it is what it is. But my thing is this: we always bragged about coaching matters in any sport, right. Football, fucking cricket. I don't care. If you have a good coach in your life, you're going places. But that's reflection of exactly last year, right? I knew when we hired Eilifus, he was not gonna be this type of like, oh well, have you been listening to NBA YoungBoy lately? Oh man, he's kicking right now.
Right.
You know, like he has no idea what these players are going through, or basically, you got to be able to reflect of what the struggles of what these players today's, they're going through, right? And I'm not trying to say things are easier, but I'm just saying it is what it is. This generation is easier for kids and athletes, especially with this new NIL deals, right? Ridiculous amount of money they get paid. And you're talking about back in the days, shit, you had to make hella plays just to make crumbs on the table, right? And even that, you got a chance to be let go by these teams. So all I'm saying is this, Law. It's hard to find athletes out there that are hungry for it and that deserve it. But once you find a coach that can find those players, that can find that diamond in the rough, man, that tells you a whole lot of difference. I mean, we forget what the Rams were, right? They were the St. Louis Rams. You're talking about years, decades of failure before they got to the place where they're at now, competing all the time. And that's with McVay in the building, and hell of a coach, man.
Right.
I respect McVay. You know, he can coach me any day of the week about the offense they run, and I'll be gladly sitting as a student. But that's all I got, Law. You know, the culture you build around is by the people you hire, and I think that's a step forward. Cowboys Nation for life, DC for life, and hey, you know, it might be cold, but shit, you know who else is sitting their asses in their cold ass couch? Them damn Eagles.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, that's Lokes, man. Yes indeed. Yeah, man, great points, man. You know, culturally speaking, I mean, I don't know half of the songs, man. If you don't give me the title and play it a little bit, I don't know not one NBA YoungBoy song until I hear a little bit of it. I was thinking that the other song was an NBA YoungBoy song, Baby Boo, you know what I'm saying? And they were doing a little dance. You know, it's somebody else, a whole nother guy named Headband or something. So I'm not even culturally inclined. You know, NBA YoungBoy is a little bit too young for me. You get what I'm saying? So, yes. So if I know that I'm out of touch with some of the things that the youth is doing these days and time, I can only imagine, you know, being Matt Eberflus when they start playing them songs. And to a degree, some parts of Shotty, he probably be more hip than me on a lot of those things. So, yes, it is for what it is, and he's right. He's right with all of what he was saying, and hopefully Jerry Jones can tap in and sit back a little bit. And Jerry, you're going to get all of the fame and the credit anyway if this works. And if it don't work, you know, you're still going to get all of the blame. That's just how it goes. That's the price of being the owner of the Cowboys. Yeah. Pooh Shiesty and them, I don't even know a Pooh Shiesty song, right? I just know people wearing the ski masks and the skull masks, man. You know, I'm just saying. I don't know them things, but I'm not trying to tell y'all that I ain't hip, but I ain't hip to that. You know what I'm saying? But if y'all start playing some Kim, I can't stop loving you. I know them songs, right? You know, if y'all start playing some Frankie Beverly and Mays, man, I know them. Yeah, I know them. That's more my era. Yeah, I know Tupac. I know Tupac and Biggie and them. All right, Max says, you said it, Law. We haven't heard read from our DC yet. Folks talking about one player gonna change that mess. This mess we call a defense, Parsons 2.0. Yes, you're right. Yeah. Y'all give it what I'm saying. Appreciate you, Max. I don't know if that was you that were waiting in the phone queue, but that is for what it is. GP and CD love them. Yeah, the NBA YoungBoys, man. I thought that NBA YoungBoy and the other guy was the same person until like a few years ago. I forgot. He used to play this little song, man, and they supposed to be dissing each other. He had a song. He said, if I was a girl, I'll F me too, you know. I said, the sassiest song I ever heard. He said, if I was a girl, I'll F me too. What's that guy's name? Y'all put his name in the chat, you know. I said, man, that little sassy song, You know, all these guys, these new guys, he's supposed to be a rapper or something, you know. It is for what it is, Cowboys. Ice Cube, play that, yeah. Yes, and NLE, yeah, NLE. Don't come after me, dude, you know. But yeah, his name is NLE Chopper. I thought him and Young Boy was the same person. Right hand to the man. That dude had a song. He said, "Boy," I said, man. And then he gonna remake a beat with Tupac beat, and I said, man, this dude twerking in some damn spray painted pants, because them pants were tight. Yeah, his whole generation gone to damn. Yes, indeed. Yeah. To be real, some of these female rapping harder than the fellas nowadays. Where the fella rappers at, man? Shoot. Let me get off of this rap stuff before y'all come after me. Yes, indeed. But this has been a long, nice marathon type of show. I appreciate y'all, man. I love y'all to the moon and back. Dre Madden said, bro, been dancing his ass off lately. That was the last caller in the queue. Nobody else attempted to call in, so we going to get on up out of here. Appreciate y'all, man. I love y'all to the moon and back, or to the stars and back. That's a better way to say it. Did I supposed to go over one more thing? I probably did. Let me double check. Did I cover everything? We already talked about Mike McCarthy, right? We talked about him. Yes, indeed. Y'all like, don't leave me, Lord. Please stay with me. Okay. Hold on. We got some more stuff, man. I got some more stuff that we can go over. Hold on. Boom, 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 boom. Come on, let's listen to
And
this
this is the
stuff.
fun part.
I ain't ready to go yet, then. We're gonna go to overtime, quadruple overtime. Yeah.
There's hyping up the new guy and the glowing reviews, and he
I'll get
keeps
somebody else to ask these questions.
all the great notes, and he's so smart, and he cares more than everyone else. You're going to hear this with every single hire, basically, throughout the National Football League. Now, the reality hits here in terms of the front office's job now, because this is going to mean very little if they put the talent out there and don't acquire significantly better players than what they had last year. What happens, I think, a lot of times with this hype is now you're supposed to basically take the same personnel and you're supposed to be this really good coach. You know, the Cowboys flagship turned you into this miracle worker. Why does the defense still suck? It's still, bottom line, comes down to players. So the real pressure is on the front office and the personnel to add to this horrific talent.
All right, so I don't know what angle they're going in, but we just having a good time, y'all. Can we talk freely? Y'all okay? Y'all still snowed in? Let me see. Yeah, it's still. Woo. Okay, it's still slick outside, y'all. All right, are we good to go for at least another 30 minutes or to an hour? Because are we still good to go before we go a little bit further? All right, let's make this rule. As long as there's at least 330 people in here, I'm gonna keep going. All right, so that's a good number. So y'all still recruit your friends to come on over here. All right, let me say this, and I got to say this real tight. Don't y'all bullshit us now. Don't gaslight us, and stop saying that this is a damn hype hire. This is an unknown hire. This ain't nothing to be hyped about, by the way. We are only happy for the simple fact for the last 30 years, 30 seasons, that this is something damn new that we are doing. This is not something that we are looking at that CP is going to erase everything that we going to do here as it relates to being able to have this defense number one, number two, respectfully. So what I'm saying is the expectation, see, they starting this dang on bullsugar expectation that this kid can't do nothing wrong and the front office got to get it right and all of this stuff. No, don't do this. This is not a hype hire, and this is not a win for a certain side of community and culture. The still problem is above, so below. So what I'm saying is right now, Cowboys Nation, give this guy, this kid, this guy that's 34 years of age a chance. This is no hype. This is the unknown. And that's what we're happy about as Cowboy Nation. And I'm going to say this too. And it's not because he's black, not because he's white, purple, or none of this stuff. We just calling out and pointing the obvious that this is something that the Cowboys tend to not do. You know, y'all get what I'm saying? And that's the only thing that we're really excited about this is because this is not more of the old.
So yeah, there's going to be there's no doubt. At the end of the day, it is about the players, and I have no doubt. Like, to hire somebody who's never been, has he been a defensive coordinator ever? No, right?
No, he's not.
So there's going to be some bumps in the road.
Right.
That's expected with Schottenheimer. Every head coach who is now hired this year, Jesse Minter hired. If they've never been a head coach, there's going to be some bumps in the road. That is just the reality of it.
And this is the fun part. This is hyping up the new guy.
No. We are not. Riggs! We're not doing this. We're not hyping up the new guys.
Are you shitting me?
No.
Oh, look at my African American over here.
No, we are not doing that as Cowboys Nation. I'm not finna have that as it relates to his personality trait.
The I don't want to hire a DC who will get head coach interest quickly brigade, Chop, is not going to be happy with this hire, Owning says. Parker has future NFL head coach written all over him. Cover 6 and cover 8, in addition to penny fronts, are back on the menu. And someone's like, what the hell is cover 8? And he was talking about basically cover 2 to the passing strength and quarters to the other side, very similar to cover 6, which is quarters to passing strength, and cover 2 to the other side. Both are zone match in this system. What will his style be, having learned under Vic Fangio?
Cody Alexander over at Match Quarters has some different articles written about what he has termed, what other people have also called Fangio adjacent. So Fangio does his own primary stuff with, man match and does a lot of really unique things. And so then there are these other coaches that have a lot of the similar concepts, but maybe their own flair to it, or they have their own sort of thing. And that's typically termed Fangio adjacent. And that's what Christian Parker is thought to be, that he's learned certain things from Mike Pettin and some others and would probably incorporate some various things. But a big chunk of it will be related to Fangio stuff, which is very demanding.
I mean, Fangio, all right, so when we start remixing stuff, like you remix it to make it fit your system. I think that as youthful as 34-year-old Christian Parker is, he's going to take a piece from that and say, okay, I like what Fangio is doing here. Right? And then he's going to take a piece from this connotation of what he learned from, and he's going to pocket that, right? What we can't do is give all of the credit and say, okay, this is a Fangio disciple, as if though everything that he learned in the last 34 years of existence came from Fangio. The greats take pieces from other greats, right? If that's the case, then who was the defensive coordinator that came up with zone defenses? Oh, it's the Cowboys. We created teams had to play zone defenses. Why? But we created it because we had the fastest man in the world at that time, Bullet Bob. You couldn't really put man to man on him. So teams had to restructure and revamp that stuff. There's nothing new under the sun. Fangio took pieces from other greats and reinvented it to Fangio's scheme. Now, Fangio is great, but I'm quite sure that he's not out there on the field teaching these kids how to T-step. I'm quite sure that he's not trying to tell these kids, play it to this damn inside shoulder. When they release upfield, you gravitate to this part of the deal, I'm quite sure that Fangio don't have the keen sense of energy like he did 20 years ago. But this dude right here, Christian Parker, does. So let's not get it twisted. He's going to be a hands-on coach, and he's going to be able to get these guys involved in a lot of things. But what's great sometimes about being with the youth, who remember watching The Wire, right? And they was looking for the detective, I believe, and they was going to bring him aboard or something like that. I forgot his name. It's been many moons ago. And they said, I like him. I like what he's able to do. He has soft eyes. Sometimes you can be in the field long enough and you can only see it from your point of view, as great as you are. But sometimes you need those soft eyes to see things as it processes. And then you can be able to throw your remixes in there, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, they said the person that invented the chicken nuggets did it by mistake. Hey, what you gonna do with that leftover chicken breast? Oh, we can chop it up, put it into smaller pieces, throw it in the damn skillet over here, or put some flour over it and serve them as treats. Damn, these things good. But what you gonna call them? Chicken nuggets, right? The owner didn't know what was going on. They just started slinging chicken nuggets, right? That's how it is. That's life. You can have a creative idea, but it can be the small things that come from that idea that make it even better, right? And then you got people who will steal your ideas too, though. You know.
Stop, please! Come back, please!
They'll steal your damn ideas. But that's just how it goes. You take from the good or the greats, you remix it a little bit, and then you go out there and you serve it to the people. Now, we're going to be eating some chicken nuggets over here with CP. It's going to be good. And I ain't talking about no smokehouse destination type of stuff. You know, I was reading a piece on them. Them boys started off serving coffee over there, you know. And then the old man was like, hey, maybe we can do some gumbo, you know, outside of just coffee. And then they started doing gumbo. And then they realized the pandemic hit, and he started fixing plates and stuff for the people that was in that area. And they said, man, you make some good damn barbecue. Man, yeah. Hey, man, we ought to add that on the menu. Yeah, Smokehouse Destination was a coffee spot, right? Now they making millions selling smoked meat. They took coffee off the menu. That's just how life is. The creative ideal comes from the person that's back in the kitchen sometimes experimenting. And I hope CP is experimenting. Come on with it.
And then takes guys really learning and then really studying and being able to.
Then why would you be so excited about that when you weren't for Flores because of the challenges learning?
So because the bigger reason why I would like Parker is because of the stuff with Flores is a lot of times going to be, it's the pre-snap stuff in terms of what you're showing, rotating down the right way, being in the right position, seeing those sort of things. The pre-snap stuff is not difficult with the Fangio stuff. They're going to give you like, here's the look. It's just reading it. So there's two different aspects of reading things and disguise and different things like that Flores typically does within his system. So he's going to show you different things before the snap with blitz looks and then rotations quickly back to where you're trying to run back to get into, you know, the deep middle. Whereas with Christian Parker, they're generally going to show you this is what we're looking like. We're not going to do a bunch of exotic looks or anything else. This is what it looks like.
Vision-based.
But we can do a number of different things out of this.
Yeah, so in the future head coaching thing, due to the Rooney Rule, that's a plus for us, man. You get two third-round draft picks for picking him up. If he is successful in any shape, form, or fashion, you get something back in return. So I do like that aspect of it. Is it a crass ruling? Hey, man, you know, consult with the people that's over the NFL. They have to force billionaires to get brothers in the building, right? When the team is 92 to 95% melanated. But that's just how it goes. So I'm glad. Yeah, sure. I'll start pumping out a whole program. The next man up, hey, brother, hey, what's going on? Durante Jones, if you really want to get promoted to a head coaching job or to a defensive coordinator job, come over here. One season of a pass game coordinator, your name will be everywhere, because we're going to be successful this season. We willing it right now. We got CP. Help a brother out, Come on with it. HBO me. Gumbo and rice. Yeah, had gumbo yesterday as well. Yeah, so that's where I'm looking at it from that aspect of it. All right, so this is a talk track about why Christian Parker deserved a shot. Let's listen.
I hate it when anything good happens to you people. It wasn't pleasant because I wanted to see Christian Parker get a shot because the man deserves it. He's freaking awesome, but I did not want to see it come in the division, and I most certainly didn't want to see it come with you people.
Yeah, rude.
Why is he so awesome?
I can tell you this. It's just one of those things, and I mean, when I know you can talk, the beat writers and the guys who deal with them on a daily basis.
He better have been glad that these are some non-melanated people when he said you people. Because us out here in Mississippi, boy, we don't take that you people clearly as a joke. You know what I'm saying? I'm just messing with y'all. We can have a little laughter here. But let's listen to what this guy have to say about you people. Come on.
It's a completely different thing. But every single person, when you meet somebody or you hear of somebody, and every single person repeats the exact same things about them, there's a uniformity of praise. You believe it. Usually you can find somebody who says, yeah, I met Shan. He's great dude. But you're absolutely going to meet somebody who goes, what an a-hole. I bumped into him at the store.
He is right about that. I always say, I had a pastor to preach on this. And his sermon was like, not everybody's lying. And I was like, man, where's this guy going at it from this? And basically, he said he was talking about your reputation. Your reputation goes out as a negative connotation, and everybody get a chance to hear. Not everybody's lying. Not everybody's lying that you like to steal. Not everybody's lying that you always late. At some point, these people are telling the truth about you. So you got to adhere to those things. Like this person got quick hands. This person, you can't trust them because they do X, Y, and Z thing. So yeah, I do follow what he said. Yes, indeed. So yeah, if everybody is saying that CP is really good from the coaching staff, from former players, then somebody, and these guys are not lying. These people are telling the truth. Now, all of a sudden, not one player spoke up boldly for Matt Eberflus. Not one person came out and said, you know what, Matt Eberflus is doing a great job. Not everybody's lying. There's the truth somewhere in there.
You're gonna get that balance. There's no balance with Christian Parker.
Wow.
I hate it when anything good happens to you people. Wasn't pleasant.
Yeah. That was the end of that one. Not to go into more details of everything. So it is for what it is, Cowboys Nation. I had a great show today with all of you all, but I just wanted to just tell you guys this right here. This is just the beginning. As we assemble our troops together to go down into war and battle, this is where you win. This is how you win. See, some things do not look as plain and simple. There was a show I saw this past week called The Rip on Netflix, based off of a true story, by the way. And they had to flush out the mole, the rat, the snitch. It took ultimate trust, but sometimes you got to go dark. Sometimes you got to go beyond the fray. And on that movie, it's on Netflix, called The Rip. They had a house that had over $24 million in that house. They had a swatter there. She was swatting on the house. And they had all of those resources. But the rip, the money had to be counted on the property. Certain conversations had to be met on the property. But what I'm telling you is that there's been a rip in this organization for 2 seasons. We need to expose and get rid of the cancer from the inside and its casualties in war. Hopefully, that rip is out. 20 buckets with $20 million. Come on, man. That's crazy. But what I'm saying here is what I'm trying to tie in the story is that there are close ones that you got to figure out who's really about winning, who's really dialed in about taking control of their own destination. And I ain't talking about Smokehouse. There's going to be times when you hold that brick of money in your hand, or player, or free agent, and you saying just one of these. She was holding it in her hand. She was saying, just one of these can change my life. That's individuals thinking. We don't need just one individual to change our life. We need to work together as a team. Unity. United we stand. And it's not divided we fall. Because if I fall, we all fall. If we don't do our homework and if we are not as a unit, if the secondary fall, we need to be able to be united and lift the secondary up. If the linebackers fall, we need to be united and lift said linebacker unit up. And if the D-line can't hold, we need to be united and lift the D-line up. And how do that work? We come together as one unit. We grind together. We comb through these things and we have think pieces together. And we go into this 2026 and the new mix of the year with CP on the R side and bringing in the guys that he don't have to worry about if the rip number is called correctly. That he don't have to look over his shoulder and say, hey, will you work against me or you working with me, Schottenheimer? And Schottenheimer look him in his eyes and say, baby, you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for me because I fought for you to be here. I went against the grain, and we're going to do something differently here as it relates to the Cowboys silver and blue, as my name remains the same. Cowboys Nation, stand tall or not at all. And baby, if you want a thing bad enough to go out there and fight for it, to work day and night, to give up your time, to give up your peace and your sleep, if all of your desires of it makes you quite mad enough that you don't get tired, and it makes you hold everything tawdy and cheap, if life itself seems empty and useless without it, and all that you scheme and dream is about it, if you will gladly go out there and sweat for it, fret for it, or plan for it, to lose all terror of your mind, if you would just simply go after the things you want with all of your capacity, strength, sagacity, with faith, hope, confidence, and stern pertinacity. If neither cold or the poverty or the famish or fame or the sickness of body or brain can turn you away from the things you want, if dogged and grim and besieged and beset with the help of Almighty Cowboys Nation and everyone that's listening, you will get it. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Let's go, Cowboys Nation. And it's time to run it up.
I just wanna run it up.
As they say, where my guy Roll Tide at?
I've been really in the field. Let it rush, I love the feel. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Don't need no deals, I make the deal. Have to take it to a meal. Lately, I just wanna run it up.
Yeah. Come on, baby. Lately, I just wanna roll it up. Oh, I said roll it up. My bad. Run it up.
Lately, I just wanna roll it up.
Oh, I'm saying roll it.
Ones, I need them fives, need them tens. I need that change to the safe. Got blues inside.
Put that zip down. Come on.
Greens and pinks, it's all the same. I still save and roll my change. Take some losses when I play. Charge it to the game. I'm with Elgin, I'm with T Black, I'm with Reverend now.
Hey,
I'm with Bay, I'm with Jay, I'm with Chucky now. Still the same, now switching sides, now it's about loyalty.
Come on.
You switch sides off for the bag, and that's worth more to me. I mix Nike with designer.
Born in it, baby.
That's
what we tell them.
It's an evil world we live in.
Come on, baby.
Oh, look at my African American over here.
Yo. Oh. Yeah. Come on, baby. Let's get it.
Lately, I just wanna run it up. Yeah, enemy spotted. I just be off the dome. I be at home alone. I be in zones
The best buttons in the land, baby. Where she belongs.
She belongs to the street.
Hey. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Come on, baby.
Kinda check us on.
Real. Serious.
What we gonna tell her then?
So it look like I'm gonna be round here. I ain't trying to be daddy or nothing. But if you need some advice, feel free to talk to me.
I just wanna run it up. You won't break my soul. You won't break my soul. I just wanna
I got balls of steel.
Let's slow it down just for a little bit, man. Hey, the sounds of soft souls, hits, oldies, brought to you by Law Nation Sports. Okay.
Execute Order 66.
Enemy spotted.
They releasing the clips.
Now, so the cocaine's happening. When does that crack come into play for you?
I breathe you in. Thank you. And remember.
Why, this motherfucker don't miss.
No, he's good.
That motherfucker don't miss, man.
Shout out to your podcast.
In the heat of battle, he don't miss.
HWFG.
In the heat of controversy, he don't miss.
You could not live with your own failure.
What we tell them? You know it's danger, baby.
It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it.
When you pray for rain, you gotta deal with the mud too.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Darkness is your ally.
The longest outro in the land, baby. When you snowed in, all you gotta do is get some warm sheets. And what you tell her? Yeah.
Darkness is your ally.
Hey, Law. Hey, Law. Why you don't have 1 million subscribers yet? Maybe if y'all hit that like button and share this content and spread it around the world, maybe I can get to that 1 million subscriber mark. Yeah. Jump on in that like button. Hit that like button for your boy.
I imagine right now you're feeling a bit like Alice.
Indeed. Boy, I talked so bad about the Washington team, they changed their name. Hush them pigs up.
Suck.
I was born in it.
Come on, choir. Y'all ready to go? Y'all ready to go? The longest outro in the land. Come on, let's get him with this one. Hey. Yeah. And remember.
Again. Again.
Another one.
In this moment, I cannot say what's wrong or right.
Hey.
It's not hard to fool me.
Ain't no hard to fool, Law. Come on, baby.
'Cause I'm addicted to the good life.
Come on.
Emotional damage.
I've got balls of steel.
You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it.
Gotta throw a party for my day ones.
Hey.
So tell you good night.
Look at this. Somebody come look at this. Look at this. Somebody come and look at this. Look at this.
Susceptible now, before the moment flies. Ooh, so tell you good night. 'Cause I'll find a better one.
Ideas don't determine who's right. Power determines.
You must be out of your goddamn mind.
All the haters.
Shut up!
It's not a problem.
Come on.
Marcus! What is your profession?
Smoke weed every day.
Nobody coming to see you, Otis.
Spartans!
Marcus! What is your profession?
Smoke weed every day.
Be sure to check out RogueShop, baby.
Oh, look at my African American.
Execute Order 66.
Enemy spotted.
Until next time.
And they understand the cost that is involved. There's 1,000 of you. I said close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors. We all gonna be together. There's 1,000 of you tonight, and those that are watching, it's 1,000 that's watching online. This is a small seed. If I get 1,000 online to give this, I'm challenging each of you all down here
them boys
to give a $20 seed. But I need everyone standing up here with us, with me, to plant a seed of $100. Because again, it costs the city. I got you. And this is what I need you to do. If you're giving electronically, or even giving
it's an evil world we live in.
Bring them baskets. I want the baskets up here. I want to see the folk. Y'all start moving. Y'all can bring it right now. Come. Even if you're emotional damage, just put your hand on the. Take your phone and stick it on the bucket.
Now y'all don't want to call and check
Giving
on
is
the
worship. Giving is worship.
Come on!
Giving is worship. Giving is worship. This ain't the time to talk. 1,000 people need to give $20. 1,000 people need to give $20. 1,000 people online need to give $20. This is easy, saints. This is an easy miracle. We should be able to raise $40,000 tonight just for y'all giving.
You know you got to pay some dues to live on Monday. Yeah.
Until next time, if we offended anyone, if you are somehow an Eagles fan, you just...
We're looking great. Go Birds. Let's go Birds.
Until next time, DC for life, man. Coaching moves. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all to the stars and back. DC for life. Baby, peace.
Nobody.
Hush your mouth over there. Y'all at the house on the couch with us.
They can come closer than close. Yeah.
Original, Jesus, they never will servant, be. Lord. There's clearly been a miscommunication, Jesus.
Shame.
Just saying this burden is a little bit too heavy for your servant, Lord.
Shame.
I'm just saying, Jesus, my brother COVID, Lord, is what I'm saying. The thing is, I ain't even thirsty, Jesus. No, a little bit. You can take this whole cup, the pitcher, the
You're telling me this is what we all love for you.
What's your point?
Yeah, on paper.
Oh my God, who the hell?